Yeah, we're live with another edition of the German Ranking Podcast, which basically we just talk about stuff we like.
Woo!
Woo! So we can start with the first thing, which is the new Assassin's Creed being announced. Let me just share so everyone can see what Deus Ex is showing.
Okay, I'm going to start then.
Yeah, go ahead.
Audio on.
Push the button. Oh, I'm triggered by trains.
London!
It's a bloody marvellous time to be alive. An age of invention.
Oh my
So
god.
many clever blokes dreaming up impossible machines.
Hey, it's not just
Sorting away
Harry
more
Potter.
gold than Queen Victoria herself. But none of those shillings ever makes it into the pockets of the poor devils whose blood is spilled building this glorious empire. The
Sounds like
working
London
class
today.
walks through life
Oh.
unaware of the machine that drives them. Let's wake them up then, shall we?
Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
That actually looks kind of cool.
London!
Can I say this to all those psychos out there that says they should have had a playable female character? Well, guess what? Rumors are it might be a playable female character. Not confirmed yet, but there might be a female playable character.
I'm pretty sure this game will be banned in Britain.
Why?
A game where the poor rises up against the rich? Fuck no, Cameron must be terrified of this game.
I was about
Stop
to say
protecting me,
that.
by the way, Underdale, because other people's, they're glorious avatars. I mean, they haven't got my face, which is what the people want to see, I know, but... There
I
we
was
go.
about to say that there is clearly not enough class warfare in that video. It only lasted about 10 seconds. Being the oppressed will not feel suitably unoppressed after watching the trailer. They'll have to buy the game.
You know
So
what?
how do you guys feel about this? I mean, considering Unity and all the bugs that it had in release, what do you think
Well,
about?
I mean, I am a Londoner. I would love to see a game based in London. I really enjoyed Zombie U, which I like. That was set in London as well. I'm kind of a bit of a sucker for that kind of shit. Yes, if you manage not to fuck up Ubisoft, that would be very nice. Could you fucking manage that, please? Thank you.
My opinion of this is that according to Ubisoft, this game will be London in this game will be 30%. London. You fucking tosser. Anyways,
That's better.
I'm from London. I am. No, okay.
Good show.
Anyways,
That's good.
yeah, I mean, they said that essentially the city will be bigger, 13% bigger than Paris in Unity. And my hope is that they don't try to go overboard with mechanics. Instead, they find a core of mechanics that work really well instead of trying to do too much, which was their mistake with Unity. And it looks interesting. I love the idea of racing and sort of like an army kind of thing and taking over districts and having like brawls. They seem to be
that's kind of Brotherhood, though, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it's Brotherhood Revelation. Yeah, it has the features of Brotherhood and Revelation and Assassin's Creed 3. They did in Assassin's Creed 3. And if you want to think about it in some ways, if anybody that's ever played it, Assassin's Creed Rogue also did sort of a thing like that.
And it's interesting that it better be pub fights, man. It's London. It better be
Yes.
pub fights.
Kind
Well,
of
you
like
did see
Uncharted
the,
3.
you did see the bare-knuckled boxing, which I'm hoping that'll be in the East End. I mean, all this shit was marshland back in that time, so it's not going to have my house in it. So you're not going to be able to dox me with this game. I'll tell you that much.
What I'm gonna
I've lived
think
in
is,
old Victorian houses there around the East End, so.
And
I mean, interesting to see how accurate like London is. I mean, I don't know if Paris was particularly was a fictional version of Paris or.
It really was.
Can I give my
The
take on
city-
this now? Oh
Yeah, go ahead, man.
What I noticed, because I closely examined a lot of things, I closely examined like the weapons of the game. Actually, just everything in general says Watch Dogs, and how it's like they're using the same style of what they did with Watch Dogs. That's what I'm seeing right now. First of all, second of all, as I'm looking at the weapons, what you see, what they're using now is they're using revolvers. They're using revolver. This is the first Assassin's Creed game where they actually have an actual repeating weapon. So that's something.
Well,
new
they
for
had
them.
it in Assassin's Creed 4.
Yeah,
anyway.
but that was just like that
You
was
had
just like
multiple
4
pistols, basically.
Yes, but this one was
because that's appropriate for the time. That's the weaponry you had.
yeah, but this one now they have the ability to use what I seen in what some of the characters had. They showed a still image of the characters and them holding their weapons. What I seen was one of them had a cane sword, which was just basically a cane with the sword hidden inside it.
Yep.
That was one of them. Another one I saw was the revolver. It looked like a Colt Peacemaker, or it could be a Webley. I think it might be a Webley since this is England. But there was
Sounds to me.
also a baseball bat. That's new from
truncheon,
Assassin's Creed.
probably. I would assume that would be a police truncheon.
Yeah, probably is. I was
Sounds to
thinking
me.
Not tasteful.
The walking stick.
Unless it was a cricket bat.
The walking stick with the sword in it. It's so stereotypical British. It's something like you suspect every older British politician has.
But there's also I also analyzed one more thing: the hidden blades. Underneath it, they took the aspect of the Phantom Blade from Unity, where it would fire from under, kind of like a crossbow. But this one looked more like a spring-loaded with like a wheel system, and it was kind of like a hook shot blade, like hook shot from Legend of Zelda. Basically, like that, what they showed in the gameplay footage is you would shoot it towards the roof and you'd fly up almost instantly. So you get up to high places so quickly. Yeah, grappling gun, basically. Underneath the hand, they have that underneath, and it looks like it's supported by a wheel system. And on the top, what I noticed, because this is also the first Assassin's Creed game with cartridge-based weapons, is it looked like a cannon with a breech-loading cartridge system and a ring that you pull it back and the firing pin hits and it fires out. So it could be like a shotgun-based system on top of the hidden blade. Area, and they're only using one hidden blade again, like they did in Unity.
One interesting part about the grappling gun is that it's essentially a Assassin's Creed version of the grappling hook from Batman. It's essentially turning the assassin into Batman. He can basically shoot that grappling gun and instantly head up to a rooftop.
If they had hook blades. Yeah, if they had hook blades in the Syrian times, in like the Assyrian Empire times, they could have a grappling gun story.
I just find the gameplay. I mean, I remember because a lot of times, a lot of people, sometimes it's really frustrating when you're in a mission and you are chasing somebody on a rooftop, and you have to, if you fall down, you have to climb the whole goddamn building again.
You basically give up at that fucking point. You know you're not going to get it.
No, right. And essentially, this will allow you to get up to the building a lot faster, and it will keep the gameplay really more. I'm interested in seeing how they're going to use all these weapons, because I remember from Unity when they were telling you about all these different aspects you could approach a certain assassination.
Yeah,
it was
you had your own ways of picking how you wanted to kill them. Now you could have done that in the previous games, but that now they actually gave you the actual choice of it and stuff. And let me tell you, from playing Assassin's Creed 2 Bonfires of Vanities, which had the hardest assassination in Assassin's Creed history, we had to board that ship and take the guy out without being spotted. I have to say that was the hardest assassination in Assassin's Creed history. I wish they would have had those like plan your own way of getting on the boat and stuff like that. But
I do wish there were more, because I mean, I do wish there was more of a difficulty level setting, because mostly if you wanted to make it more difficult yourself, you just go around killing random guards, and that's basically about it. Because otherwise, much of the games were
there's
quite
difficulty
straightforward.
settings for Assassin's Creed. They've
Yeah, but
always
the
had
interesting
difficulty.
The interesting part now is that we already knew that this game would be set in London, and and the whole idea London. And anyways, we already knew that this game was leaked a couple of months after Assassin's Creed Unity, because some guy at Ubisoft couldn't keep his mouth shut. But my question now, I am actually more interested to what it's really. I'm not as hyped to this game as I thought I would be, but I am more interested in seeing where do they go after this game, because they are not going to go back to the past.
You can go to World War One and assassinate archfrags.
That's what I would love to see, is a World War One era. They're right now.
So basically, Call of Duty.
No, they're
running
going
around.
closer to Watch Dogs. You guys see Watch Dogs?
World War One is nothing like World War Two. It was all trench warfare, so it's
Yeah.
basically.
I was making a joke about the start of World War One, which is the assassination of
Archduke
Franz. Thank you. Remember the bloody name of the guy. That was merely a joke, I'm afraid. It wasn't serious.
But the interesting part is, if they actually held a World War One game, I can just imagine being an assassin running around in the trenches. It's like,
I mean, if they can have it at any time, there's nothing really stopping, because it won't be a first-person shooter shooting all the time.
They won't do first-person shooters.
I mean, World War II, come on. World War II, come on.
Actually, what I want to see...
Assassinate Hitler!
Actually, what I want to see is kind of like they take like a churn like Red Dead style churn, where they put it in the Old West. That's what I would like to see. The U.S. or even the Mexican era, like the Mexican Revolution and stuff like that.
But the one period that everybody has been screaming for years is probably Ubisoft's next move, and that is Japan during the Samurai era.
I would seriously get the game if they did that.
They didn't. What I've heard in interviews and stuff with the creators, they said they don't want to do things like World War II and feudal Japan because those are popular decisions. They said it like the hipsters they are. They said those are too popular to everybody knows about them. I want to do.
Paris and London were also asked for, so.
They can go back to.
But the one thing about it is there was few people knew about the actual aspects of like the Paris Revolution and stuff like that. There were a lot of things that people didn't know.
Somebody made a joke during the live in the video chat when they first showed off this game that the DLC for this game could be set in Dublin, where the object is to drink your opponent to death.
Yes, that would be a DLC right.
I am loving the smile on T-Sex's face right now.
I wouldn't know what you're talking about.
No, not at all.
Okay.
I mean,
actually, but one thing, what I'm going to see they're going down, because there's no way in hell they're going to end this. There's no way in hell they're going to end this series. They're going to end this series anytime soon. So, what it looks like they're going to go down to is they're probably going to go down all the way up to the modern day times, or they're going to make another Watch Dogs game. One or the other. They're either going to fuse the.
They are making another Watch Dogs.
Yeah, but I mean, they're going to either fuse the lores together, basically. Because what happened was I could tell about this one, because Watch Dogs has been out for a while, but during one of those missions where you have to intercept the driver, one of them was Olivier from Assassin's Creed 4, you know, the head of Abstergo Entertainment, how he disappeared. Apparently, Aiden killed him.
So what? I mean, they're saying the Watch Dogs are basically assassins in those games? I mean, because the whole thing is in the outside the...
They are connected, but they're not like.
There's been rumors.
This is the thing. If you talk about modern day,
but I think
the whole thing is outside the Animus. Outside the Animus, there's all this parallel shit going on, especially with the first three where you're playing Desmond.
Yeah, but but like the CTOS, it screams Abstergo. in my opinion. What I'm seeing with the CTOS and stuff like that, and like DedSec, it screams Erudito. If any
Could
of you
just be
that's
a
ever
lack of
played-
imagination, to be fair.
Yeah,
It's hard to say because they have actually Abstergo in the game, so
Yeah.
it's not that they're linked because they're in the same universe, but not more than that.
Yeah.
But essentially that would, I mean, looking at how long the Assassin's Creed game have existed now, I mean, it would be a great way for Ubisoft to basically make Watch Dogs 2 and have like this connected story where you have the Assassin's Creed crossover, but they really need to be very careful in making that game, because people who buy Watch Dogs 2, they are going to expect something completely different and having to run around and do errands for
No, that's
assassins.
not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
but what's going to happen?
Expect nothing.
Yeah, all they've done is have Easter eggs and stuff like that, and just implying they're in the same universe. They're not gonna.
Sounds a
I
bit
think
like
they should just go further into the future.
So it sounds a bit like the Quentin Tarantino movies, where there's all kinds of references to his other movies. So people
exactly.
like it's all in the same universe.
But what I'm going to say is this: what I know from the Assassin's Creed game and Watch Dogs is, if they wanted to connect them in certain ways, I mean, Erudito is very, very vividly described in Assassins. He's sometimes a hacker, like in Assassin's Creed Liberation, where you play the PS Vita version. He actually hacks into the game because it's kind of like Unity, where you're playing with Abstergo Entertainment. He hacks into it and says, "Here's the Erudito cut of this program." So I'm expecting if they wanted to some way connect it, they would connect it with Erudito being an assassin, or Aiden and them being Erudito.
You know, a modern-day Assassin's Creed, I think, would be perfect for an alternate reality game. I haven't seen one of those in a while. That would be a lot of fun.
But the question is, how do you do a modern-day Assassin's Creed without becoming just another spy game?
They could do it. I mean, they could do the Assassin's Creed parkour elements to it, and
well, yeah, I mean, it's obviously outside the Animus. It'd have to be without the Animus, which is the big thing about really how they do the main mechanics of the game.
Yeah.
Or like, let's go back to the distant past of 1984. It's like.
Well, the thing is with
Big Brother's watching you.
This new game, which is important, it's just single player.
Actually, when I think about it, Assassin's Creed set in the 1980s would not be a bad idea.
Yeah.
There are so many options for that series, and I don't think any era would be wrong.
Or they could do one that I'm expecting them to do is one like before the time with the first civilization. They could go all the way back to, and they talked about that in Assassin's Creed, where Desmond said to Sean in the real world, he said in Assassin's Creed 3, he says, "Is there any way we could go all the way back to the first civilization?" I would love to see that.
I mean, I was thinking. I mean, obviously, what the first game is set like the first Crusade. So if you went back before that, was it the Third Crusade? So,
yeah. It showed Richard the Lionheart. It showed Richard the Lionheart, so it's third.
So the main thing I was thinking is, like, if you're going back before that, then that's basically before the whole Templar Assassins thing is set up. So presumably, you wouldn't be able to do just going back before that. Although the Assassin's Order obviously did exist, and the Templar obviously did exist. But you couldn't have the same conflict, because the entire point is that first game is where
actually Assassins and Templars been fighting thousands of years before that. There was like a time where an Assyrian Julius Caesar was killed by an assassin. So
let's go Roman then. I'd love to see Roman shit.
According to Assassin's Creed lore, Hitler was also killed by an assassin.
Yeah.
They could have they can do a story like the Germans tried to spin the story that he did a suicide. I mean,
I think when you're in a bunker and the Allies are coming around all around you, I think an assassin at that point is
question. Okay. Listen to this idea. Can you imagine a World War II Assassin's Creed game where instead of you are an assassin, but you're disguised as a Nazi? How would that be?
That would actually be a good story. I mean, come on.
That'd be interesting. So it sounds kind of like the first Blood Rain a little bit, but
No. Assassin's Creed, where you're essentially your mission by the assassins is to infiltrate the hierarchy of the Nazi Empire, and
You
then
are to be in the what's it called, the SS, basically.
basically.
well, I don't know if you guys ever saw. I think it's called The Valkyrie or something. It's a Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something actually very similar that happened that happened in real life. That
Well,
sounds
I
a bit
know.
like that.
True
So,
story.
yeah.
Guys,
Yeah. It's called
how
the
about this?
it's called the July 20th plot, where a group of German officers try to kill Hitler.
Yeah, and in the end, because of how much it felt, it literally cost the Nazis World War II because Hitler ordered Rommel to commit suicide or he'd send his entire family to a concentration camp. So in the end, it screwed the Nazi Empire over because they didn't have Rommel to handle Patton.
Highest leadership in the military. A lot of high military leaders were executed.
Hey,
Some of them.
Yeah,
Murray had something to say. Do you want to speak, Murray?
Yeah, how about this? So, imagine this. John F. Kennedy gets shot from the grassy knoll by an assassin.
No, or by Templar.
Too controversial. No way in hell would that game.
There's at least 20 of them. Okay.
Now you're just crossing the
confused.
streams.
No. Because there is one game where you actually do play the assassin of John F. Kennedy, and that one caused such a shitstorm. No, I'm not saying it doesn't have a
that
JFK
was
Reloaded.
JFK Reloaded.
JFK Reloaded. Now here's the thing, and this kind of goes into another recent game. Do I find the game pretty offensive? In a way, yeah, I kind of do, but I do at the same time feel it has a right to exist. So if they did that with Assassin's Creed, they'd be opening a whole new can of worms. And
That'd be worse than
I
Hitler.
would,
JFK killed himself on the grassy knoll.
So clearly, what we need to do is have a game where you try to assassinate Ronald Reagan.
It wouldn't look like suicide if he shot from there. Oh wait.
Well, if anyone, I don't know if anyone else has watched Red Dwarf as well, but they did have the first episode of the 7th series, where they went back to 1963 in America because Lister wants to get a curry, and they end up changing time and the only way to resolve it is to send JFK back to shoot himself on the grassy knoll. So there you go, spoilers.
That show
We'll
is
show
so
that.
amazingly weird.
That's a hell of a time loop.
I know.
okay, I'm gonna have to check that show out.
It's
Red
awesome.
Dwarf.
Yeah, if you
Well,
like British humour.
Getting back to more of the topic of the game itself, do you think it's gonna be good?
Yeah, it's gonna
No.
be a good game in my opinion. If they do
Not on the release,
if they
no.
do it right, they might. It could be a good game.
It looks good. I think the graphics definitely look okay. I enjoy Far Cry 4, so I'm trying to be a little more hopeful with Ubisoft, but I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence on that.
I am very skeptical. I'm not gonna pre-order it, and I highly recommend nobody else do either. And
Here.
No pre-orders. That is the rule.
no pre-orders. Anything really. I mean,
That is the prime directive.
I have broken one pre-order
Christmas
rule this
Yes.
entire year, and that is Metal Gear Solid 5. That is the only game that I pre-ordered because I want to support Kojima, and I will never buy a Konami game ever again.
I ain't
Oh my God, I
pre-ordering
seriously wanna
anything.
play
I'm
that
staying
game.
away from. Let's see. I'm staying away from Witcher 3 on release. I'm staying away from what is it? Batman Arkham Knight. I'm staying away from. Yeah, a lot of games.
Yeah,
that's
I
coming out.
only also got one pre-order, but that's because it's I wanted to get the limited edition of Batman Arkham Knight with Batman statue.
Yeah, if they do a limited edition for Assassin's Creed like they did with 3 and Black Flag,
They
I
are.
They are.
I might get it. I might get it.
My solution is to buy none of these games because I'm poor as shit.
Well,
the
my
idea- well,
my
that
solution is to wait 5 years. And
Oh,
then-
and I broke.
Pretty much that.
And I broke another pre-order rule, and that was The Witcher 3. But I got that today after I managed to sneak to myself a copy. So
I don't
well,
even
what you
need
need
to
to
buy
do-
Witcher 3 yet.
Well, see, this is the solution. What you need to do is you need to learn how to be an assassin, and then learn how to sneak into Ubisoft's offices, and then you just grab the gold release disc, the master copy, and then you just go out with that. and then it's fine. You get all that shit.
You need to go in.
And you
Where
think-
do you think this shit up, dude?
And you have like, and one of the Ubisoft people try to see you, and you basically start talking in that Italian accent, like Ezio, you saw nothing. Off you go. It's like,
Smoke bomb, poof.
Yeah.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
Well,
I'm dressed as Ezio.
is anyone?
Yeah, I can't think of Smoke Bomb anymore and not think of Roger from American Dad throwing a smoke bomb and then he just falls asleep on the floor.
But is anyone
Yeah.
getting? Is anyone getting this eventually, or even thinking?
I'm
of
gonna
it?
get it. I'm gonna do it just for review purposes. I'm gonna get it just for review purposes. That is, but I want to. I'm a fan of Assassin's Creed. And I was thinking, you know what? I was gonna wait for the other reviews, but when I saw how this game worked, I'm thinking, you know what? I might get it day one. But that's just me. That's my
No,
opinion.
I will-
We have all our exceptions for games.
No, no.
Like, you got yours. You got Metal Gear Solid
Mhm.
5. I got.
Mhm.
I get Assassin's Creed. So we have our.
I have enjoyed the series, so I'll probably get them, but it won't be. It certainly won't be immediately. I mean, imagine there's, especially with the whole
London?
Unity fuck up. It is London. I mean, like I said, I'm a sucker. So, but
I
you
will-
know, not getting pre-release or any fucking shit like that.
I will buy it because I'm also a huge London fanatic, so I love that fucking city, so I'll most likely buy it, but not day one. I will wait for reviews. I will wait for Total Biscuit's review specifically because he plays it on the PC, and that's most likely what I'm going to be playing it on as well. So I'll be waiting.
I still have problems with my PC, so I'm just getting it for the PS4. I'm not that big of a fan of modding for games outside of Skyrim and Fallout, so I'm not going to get it for PC.
There is not a lot of modding in Assassin's Creed either. It's just that I want to play that game on the PC. I just want to play it on the PC.
Yeah, it's PC, PS4, and Xbox One. But I think we pretty much said everything. So let's move on to the next topic, which is your favorite. I think I know what you're gonna say, Lisa, but just humor me. Your favorite villain in comic books.
Wait, what?
Favorite villain in comic books?
I'm gonna guess Harley Quinn.
Yeah, she's up there. She's definitely up there.
But she didn't come in comic books until after the animated series.
Yes, I know, but she still counts because she's still in comics.
It's true.
Can you ask that question differently? Favorite villain in the DC and Marvel universe, because there are so many in different.
Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, that is true.
That's not the only comic. Let's not be bipartisan. Let's not forget about Dark Horse and other fine retailers of comics.
Valiant
everywhere.
Comics.
I haven't really read a whole lot of Dark Horse, so.
Okay, let's see. Okay, my answer is Joker. Plain and simply, Joker. That's it.
What a Joker.
With me, I'd have to say Harley Quinn for DC. As far as Marvel goes, that's a good one. 'Cause there's some pretty.
Marvel for me. Definitely Venom. Venom in Marvel is probably my favorite.
Venom is awesome, but I don't have to say.
No, Mystique. Mystique has to be my favorite.
DC.
Yeah, good choice.
I'm not really sure what DC or Marvel. I mean, I can't be so certain what these
Superman and Marvel is Thor and Iron Man.
Dude,
when it
if
comes to
walking
Superman,
around wearing nothing but blue skin, where can you go wrong there?
but when it comes if it would come to any villain, it'd be one of Superman's. I wouldn't say Lex Luger because he's just human. I'd probably say someone like Zod because he's basically just like Superman, almost unstoppable.
Neil!
Zod. Yes, I would like to see him because he's almost just as immoral as Superman.
I felt so bad when I saw the actor that plays Zod in the old movies play in the haunted house. Yeah, Terrence Stamp play in the haunted house. It was like, good morning. Oh God, that movie is fucking horrible.
Motherfucker's old and he drank a lot. What are you gonna say?
Well, I would say my favorite, probably the most or worst one to kill, probably Doomsday. He actually killed Superman at one point, and Marvel. I don't know. I don't think Marvel has that many good villains, to be honest.
Who can guess? Who could possibly guess from my avatar who my favourite villain might be?
I don't know.
Cable. Well, no, Cable's not a villain. So who does Cable fight? Come on.
That's what I'm trying to think
Come
of.
on.
Lord Burcroft?
No, come on, people.
Bishop, right?
Come on. You disappoint.
Your favourite villain is Sarah Butts.
Jesus.
Fuck that person!
Well,
Okay,
go
come
ahead,
on.
tell us.
I feel like I
Apocalypse.
should know it.
Apocalypse.
Oh God,
Come
damn
on.
Apocalypse! Yes.
Fucking hell, man. You disappoint me.
Yeah.
All of you. Very disappoint.
Considering I was like really big on the X-Men cartoons when I was a kid.
There we go. That's what.
Sorry, Sarah Butts got mentioned and I completely lost my train of
Trigger.
thought.
Trigger warning. Come on, Space Kissy.
Yeah, the
next
thing
time,
is, I've
trigger
been
warning.
sitting here trying to think about like Marvel villains. And I'm like, I don't. There's so many that like were villainish,
Thanos.
but then turned away from being villains. So it's like, who's,
Yeah, I
Not
mean,
Venom.
who's
Not
actually a
Venom.
bona fide villain anymore?
Venom.
I also like because he worships death literally, and he's in love with death. I mean, that's pretty fucking mental.
I mean,
Come
the
on.
only one I can really say is good is Magneto.
Magneto is very complicated as well.
Yeah, I feel the thing with Magneto is that you understand what him trying to pretty much kill all of humanity that aren't mutants. Yeah, that's a horrible thing he's trying to do there. But at the same
He
time,
doesn't most of the time. He's like most of the time. He's like, I want to be left the fuck alone. I mean, there was that whole asteroid M thing.
yeah.
Has anybody seen the Batman movie from the 90s, Mask of the Phantasm?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he was a pretty good villain. The Phantasm.
That was the one that
pretty
came
good.
out at the same time as Batman and Robin, if I'm not mistaken. And that one
Yeah,
should
and
have
it
been
was
fucking
roughly at the
theaters.
same time.
And
Yeah.
the animated movie actually was reviewed by Siskel and Ebert, which gave it a thumbs up. They loved it.
Sorry about that. I was trying to get my attention or something. But
It is ironic, isn't it, that an animated production ostensibly aimed at children is more adults than the production ostensibly aimed at the more adult audience, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can I just say my favorite villain?
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze.
Oh,
Oh,
Fuck
God.
you. Fuck you.
Chill.
What, you mean you're not going to
What
say
killed Murray? The Ice Age!
Ice Age!
The eyes are on.
Chill!
What I was saying earlier about Magneto, though, the thing is, yeah, he's definitely, not exactly one of the nicest guys out there, but at the same time, you can kind of sympathize with him, especially taking into account that he was in a German concentration camp during World War II.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Fucking hell, man. That's a bit slow.
Wow!
I was gonna force
Jesus
the
fucking
diary
Christ.
of Frankfurt.
Source Polygon?
Well, we had King of Pole in this stream. Fucking hell.
Holy shit.
Well, I think.
Yeah, now I want pasta.
Yeah, that was mean. Sorry.
I personally think.
Wait. Someone mentions a concentration camp and you want pasta?
Yeah, spaghetti's delicious. I don't know what to tell you.
That's
Brian,
racist
did
against
you,
Canadians.
Fair enough.
Brian, did you say yours?
I think everyone has said it all.
No, you haven't. You got it. No, that's not how it works.
That's a cop out. Say yours.
To be honest, I am. There's someone singing in the background, Lisa. There we go.
It's playing anime.
I am not a particularly big Assassin's Creed fan. I don't know if that's
No,
heresy
it's
or not.
fine. Comic
I
book.
think we switched to
Wake up!
Oh, we
Wake
switched
up,
it.
for fuck's sake. Jesus.
Oh, yeah, I was sitting here just.
Yeah,
Well, okay.
we stopped talking about Assassin's Creed a bit a while ago.
Alright,
Andrea-
well, I didn't
Andrea-
say anything about that
Andrea
anyway.
doll. I
Let
just want to
Brian
I just wanted to clarify when I said boo-hoo. Afterwards, I was thinking about Magneto having the powers that he has. He could get.
Backpedaling like hell, dude.
Well,
I hope so after what the
let
Nazis
Brian
did to Norway.
Brian.
So this is the favourite villain question.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I don't have a favourite comic book villain. I'm not a fan of comic books, but my favourite gaming villain, by far, is John Irenicus from Baldur's Gate 2.
Okay.
It's always got to be someone who's difficult, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yes. You know how I am. If there's a difficult way to do it and annoy everyone, I'll take that route. Just for the challenge.
Well, okay, let me ask you this question. Your favorite movie villain. Your favorite movie villain. Not games, movies.
Oh,
That's an
we're 5
That's
seconds
an
of
easy
one.
Philadelphia derailing this.
He doesn't watch movies. He doesn't read comic books. He doesn't watch television.
Movies. I don't watch that much TV, but I used to. But I wouldn't say I have a favorite movie villain. It's not something I think about really. So
All right. Well,
maybe I love them all. I'm very pro diversity, and I want to hug them.
Well,
They're
go
my
and see
favorite
Mad
villains.
Max tomorrow. Go and see
I
Mad
am
Max
not going
tomorrow.
to see
I'm
Mad
going
Max
this
tomorrow
Saturday.
because I saw that it's been feministed.
Yeah.
Now,
How?
that means I'm going to wait until I hear if it's worth seeing.
Can you
Yeah.
please elaborate
Even
on that?
any other day, I would go to see Mad Max in a draft for a heartbeat. But since Time is boasting how wonderful it is, and how it's got the big F word front and center, I'm
Well,
just
unless-
waiting
yeah.
to hear more about it.
Well,
Unless
let-
Mel Gibson comes in and does a cameo and say, "Your job is to suck my cock."
Well, I think
Oh my
personally,
god.
I think personally DC has the best villains, but that's just my opinion. I don't know what you guys
I
think.
did really like Bane in the latest Batman movie, and I did really
guys?
like the Joker done by.
Who doesn't? For you.
Heath
gotta
Ledger.
I gotta
Yeah.
piss off now because I gotta leave you guys to do another stream. I'm a little sorry about that.
You're
Oh, wow.
Later! Heresy!
Yeah, I've been invited
Wow,
by
love
Rob.
you too, man.
Yeah, Robin is Robin's stream is actually
I
one
thought we had
asking
something.
me if I want to.
That's alright.
Lisa, I have a confession to make. I need to break up with you. I'm sorry, we can't do this anymore.
Oh, alright, fine. You know what? Screw it. I'm going on yonder today. You guys will find his head on a pike outside my house.
Well,
His
le-
head or his flag?
well,
See you
we'll,
later, guys.
we'll see you
Either
later.
or.
We'll see you later then, Norwegian.
Yeah.
Do you want
See you
me
later, man.
to go on to the next topic, which is the one-show series I would recommend to everyone?
All right. Well, you might as well lead
And
then.
the
in
books?
that case.
Yeah, I will actually.
Go ahead.
I have always enjoyed. I don't know if this is a function of me being that real guy who was brought up in the late 80s, early 90s. I've always enjoyed movies and things with a good kind of moral ethic behind them, about a bit of a hero story, and something with a bit of that going on. So the one series I would recommend to anyone who has not seen it, I know it's a very long one, but I would recommend they watch the Babylon 5 thing all the way through from start to finish.
Alright.
In terms of books, I would recommend The Wheel of Time, although it's horribly long and slow in the middle 6 books. Because as the original author went and kicked it, his book's kind of compressed. But Brandon Sanderson did an excellent job of finishing it.
Alright. Next, Delta, do you want to take a stab?
What do we fair? One show, series, recommend, someone to watch. Well, I don't know. I've watched a lot of things. Not sure. Somebody else could go ahead of me.
Leon?
Who?
You?
Oh.
What show or series would you recommend?
What do you mean by this? What's going on right now?
TV. What would you recommend? A show you.
What planet are we on?
Let me give you some thinking time. I should elaborate. The reason why you should watch the whole series of Babylon 5 is it's a very intricate plot about order and chaos and people discovering themselves inside
Stop
it.
giving away important plot details.
Don't worry about it. But the thing is, if you watch the first 2 series, you wouldn't even notice it's happening. The
I don't
reason
really
why
have-
Wheel of Time is a good book series is because it's all about themes about self-discovery. It's all about the relationship between very complex and intricate characters and how they're sometimes vicious and sometimes nice. And if the Wheel of Time and its 15 gargantuan 1,000-page books are too much for you, skip it and go and read one book called Magician by Raymond Feast, which is the first book in the Krondor series. It's an excellent book, and it stands alone on its own merits.
Leon, do you have time to think?
I really don't know anything I could recommend.
Alright, Lisa?
You are a disappointment to everyone.
I wouldn't say this is necessarily on TV because God knows I don't watch that much TV anymore. But
shows. I mean, it could be anime or anything.
yeah, I was actually about to go there. I've been rewatching Neon Genesis Evangelion lately, but I'm kind of writing a analysis on Asuka anyway. So, if you're on Crunchyroll, there's this really amusing show called Comedic Psychosomatic Medicine. Each episode's about somewhere between 3 to 4 minutes long, and it looks at actual disorders like social anxiety disorder, but they also go into voyeurism and whatnot, and it's hilarious. You have the one guy that's trying to keep everything serious, and then the nurse and her increasing number of sisters and family members start showing up at her job and just fucking everything up. It's hilarious. Look at that. I mean, it's still being simulcast on Crunchyroll right now, but there are a few episodes on YouTube. Also, if you're an old school Sailor Moon fan and you haven't seen Sailor Moon Crystal yet, I definitely recommend it. It's really interesting so far. They took out a lot of the filler.
So just let me ask you this: is the Crunchyroll, are they mostly just about Japanese anime, or how do they have something else as well?
They do have some K-drama on there, but I'm not a huge fan of that. They also have manga if you pay the $6 and something a month, which I do. But
I think they're also doing like Super Sentai stuff.
I've heard they're
going
to start doing that too. Yeah.
Like Kamen Rider type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have all anime. Like I said, I really wish they had NGE. They don't. They don't have any of the movies or anything. But you know, I mean, they've definitely got some interesting shows on there. So.
I'm a filthy pirate, so I just get whatever gets ripped from them.
Yo.
Alright.
Not
Alright.
officially endorse that.
Maury, do you have anything?
Favorite TV series or favorite comic?
Anything, I think. Book, movie.
Well, let's see.
drama,
The book
book
series.
well,
I
or-
mostly read the. I don't read that many books. But the latest series I read was the Discworld books by Terry Pratchett. Rest his soul. Anyway, pretty funny series about. I think most people know about it, but it's it's the show where there's this disc. It's kind of like what ancient Christians imagined the world to be, but it's real actually, and like it's floating around in the universe, in the multiverse as they call it, and it's about wizards, about fantasy theme overall, I guess. I mean, it's mostly about making fun of our world, but in a fantasy setting. And it's pretty good, pretty good humor. And
Alright.
There's a couple of adaptations of that as well. There was like one. There's been ones on Sky. They know they did at Christmas. I can't remember the name of it. It was on. Yeah, it was one of their books. So there's been a couple of adaptations of that shit as well. It'd be British television, you'd expect, because he's a British author and kind of like that shit over here.
Sex, do you have anything?
Well, Brian already mentioned one which I do like, which is Babylon 5, and I was just staring over to my shelf of DVDs, and yeah, that's definitely one. And there's one series I probably love even more than that, which is Farscape, which is another science fiction show, which is based around the premise of an astronaut who gets shot off into a distant part of the galaxy, finds himself on a living ship called Moya with these escaping prisoners, and yeah, it's a sci-fi show that I still haven't seen anything like it in terms of its humor, original plots, adventure. It has a pretty damn good story arc. Kind of changes direction by the start of season 2, end of season 1. I mean, people were fucking upset when it sort of ended in season 4 unexpectedly on a cliffhanger, and the amount of fan uprising managed to get a mini series to finish off the last plots. I mean, it's not as good as a series 5, which is what they originally planned, but it's better than nothing. I think it shows on Netflix occasionally in all kinds of places, and I definitely recommend if you like science fiction and humor and just bits of insanity. I think you've got to check out Farscape if you've not seen it. And I mentioned Red Dwarf earlier. If you kind of want to go to more sitcom routes, that's also great stuff. If you haven't seen that. So yeah, the other thing about Farscape, it was basically Jim Henson production. So it's a combination. It was kind of like their showreel in a way. So their abilities in CGI, animatronics / Muppets. Obviously, everyone knows that's where they came from and all that. And yeah, it really does well. A lot of good practical effects, a lot of good CGI stuff, and it's especially for like late 90s, early. It started in '99, ended 2004, if I remember correctly. So. Yeah, I definitely recommend that one.
Yeah, just on a side note, favorite TV series right now, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
All right.
Favorite? Okay, I got one more that I could say. I've been watching like the the DC shows that they have on CW, the Flash and Arrow. I've been actually getting into those. They've done really good jobs on them, so I would suggest those. But I know other people wouldn't.
Right.
We talked about the Flash in one of the previous streams, and
I still would
it's pretty
recommend it.
popular. No, I brought it up, and I think everybody who was there at the time was saying, yeah, they all enjoyed it as well. So
Yeah,
but I've known people that say, oh, I hate the show. So
well, if I would recommend the show, I mean, the two shows I like the most, they have their issues with like fillers and stuff like that, but they're pretty good shows. Is Dragon Ball Z or Smallville.
Smallville.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, I mean, I remember that's like 10 series, and I don't think I've seen half of them because
You have the
they
new
stopped
Dragon
showing-
Ball, I think, coming out this summer.
Well,
Yeah.
they never had Dragon Ball Z on TV, as I recall, in England, so never got to see it. And
I
they
would
stopped like
recommend
halfway. They stopped
Yeah,
like
that's
halfway
much.
through with Smallville as well, so I never got to see the latter seasons of that. So Smallville, I know probably be alright, but Dragon Ball Z,
Dragon
I
Ball
don't know.
Z you can summarize in just yelling and on the next episode of.
Well, that's pretty much stereotyping, but I love those two shows. I mean, sure they have both have some fillers in some seasons, but I still think that those are
I actually did watch Dragon Ball Kai when they were releasing that because they basically took all of Z and they condensed it down to like.
Yeah, well, it's
episodes without any-
Akira Toriyama's
Really good.
vision of or the Dragon Ball Z. So he condensed and took out all the fillers. It's basically how he would have done it.
Yeah, that was worth watching.
It's like the director's cut of Dragon Ball Z, basically.
This seems to be a thing for a lot of anime series. They do seem to, I mean, run on forever if you let them. Like
Well, it's like
Pokemon,
Bleach. Like Bleach
Should
went on
someone say
forever, and
Naruto?
I stopped. Like I don't even remember when I stopped watching Bleach. I think it was like somewhere in the like 150s or something, and then
Something like that.
mine was watching. It was like I'm up to like 200 something, and they're doing this and this, and I'm just like, okay.
I mean,
Good.
sorry. There are the three shows that are known in the anime community mainly as the big three, and those being Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. And if you mention that you like one over the others, I have seen some of the most vile shit get yelled at these people for it. I mean, I personally, I'm opening myself up for this one. Out of the big three, I actually like Naruto the best, if only because it doesn't primarily take place at a high school, and we need more anime that doesn't take place at a fucking high school.
They love. I mean, the people that watch the people that make them, I think, just love the high school outfits.
That's why you should watch Monster Musume next season.
Dragon Ball
no,
Z
I mean-
doesn't take place in high school.
Now, here's the thing, though. I don't mind high school being used as a setting, especially if that's the target audience you go for. You want your viewers to, relate to your characters. I get that. But Jesus Christ, looking at all the anime on Crunchyroll, there's maybe only about 15 to 20% that doesn't take place at a freaking high school.
They all go to school at some point.
There are a
Also
few
fillers.
that, yeah,
Fillers
there's
everywhere.
a lot that, yeah, a lot of them do take place in high school, what I've noticed, but there are some that take place in like a fantasy universe from time to time. They're rare, but
Yeah,
they do take place.
Yeah, because
Even
that's not
fucking
my
Yu-Gi-Oh
opinion.
started off in a high school, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, okay, again, I'm gonna open some crap up for this one.
Go right ahead.
I
We
really didn't
flu
care
shits.
much. I really did not care much for Sword Art Online, even though
Because
that
Long
does not take
Horizon
place at a high school. No. Here's the thing: it was good up until and
was never good.
No, I enjoyed it up to maybe episode 6 or 7. And that's when I started going.
Well, the thing I have an issue with Bleach is that it suddenly just interrupts the main storyline and just has 20 episodes of filler, which bugs
Yeah,
the
that's
shit out of me.
That's the thing though. That's about 75% of most shonen shows.
Yeah, and I get really irritated by that shit.
Ty's the same way. He'll just skip it. Like he will skip full episodes if it's nothing but filler.
Yeah. Well, I think we're pretty much.
You're not alone doing that.
I think, Delta, unless you want to recommend something, we're going to move on.
Okay.
Delta, do you have anything?
Oh,
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
sorry, I was paying attention to Starbound. Yeah, I actually am gonna go the anime route, but I'm gonna go back a little ways and say Outlaw Star was probably one of my favorite.
Oh, that was a good one.
But that's just because I love science fiction and giant robots, so like the majority of my lists end up being science fiction and giant robots.
So I'm guessing you're an Ava fan.
Ava, my interesting story with Ava always comes back to a friend of mine who gave me a copy of that and a copy of Sorcerer Hunters on 9/11. And this was before 9/11, and then after 9/11, I was staring at both of these and thinking, which one should I watch? And I chose Sorcerer Hunters because I knew enough about Ava to know that that might not be what I wanted to watch after serious shit had just happened on the television earlier in the day. So that was an interesting.
No. That was. Yeah, that's. Yeah.
Actually, though, speaking of Ava, the rebuild movies are fantastic, and
Talking
I
about them,
definitely
yeah.
recommend those as well. I actually recommend those to new Ava fans because I feel like the rebuild movies do a much better job of articulating things, even though the original series is still good. But I mean, you consider the fact that Gainax almost went flat broke by the end of that show and made the last.
Yeah, about that, Delta, I want to ask you something.
Sure.
Do you think that they had a story cut out for the 2 final episodes, or do you think they just made bullshit up?
Honestly,
Actually, I have an answer for that one.
At CatsCon 2003, the year that we got snowed in, one of the Gainax guys actually was there, and he was stuck at the hotel with us. I forget what his name is. I'll have to try to look it up. But
Someone from
he ended up,
Gainax?
he ended up throwing sort of like an impromptu like sit down in the lobby of the hotel that evening. And we were listening to him talk, and he had some interesting stories about like just the production and about Hideaki Anno in general. And the way he made it sound like is he made it sound like a lot of it was just bullshit around there. Like towards the end, they were just like, towards the end they were just sort of like, you know, holy shit, what the hell is going on? I feel like they probably didn't really like anticipate things kind of going the way they did, and so like the last ship was sort of like, we need to get this out the door. And then once it blew up in popularity, they were like, well, now we have the money to go back and properly redo it. But I almost feel like he George Lucased it in a way, and he just kept redoing it and redoing it and redoing it, trying to achieve this like perfect vision where it's just like, you should stop.
Everything.
You also need to take into account the fact that he was dealing with severe depression at the time as well.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why it started getting really dark towards the end. And I've seen the rebuilds. They're okay for what they are, but honestly, I kind of prefer the original. There is this really good video analysis of the original versus the rebuilds done by, he goes by the name Demolition D, but his YouTube screen name is Douchebag Chocolate, don't ask. But he has this really good three-part. GoTeases also has a really good analysis of one versus the other. And I know a lot of people like shitting on a lot of the scenes, like the big one being the one with just Shinji's Eva unit just standing there, and it's just a one image of him standing there with all this pretty music playing. And a lot of people are like, oh, you know, that could have been a lot shorter. He was being forced to kill his best friend. So honestly, I mean, to me, the minute and a half of just that one still image, it's just, I can see Shinji going, I don't want to do this. I know I have to, because if I don't, he's going to destroy humanity, but he's my best friend. He's the only person that has ever said, I love you to me. And so the pause there, just for me personally, makes the ultimate, you know, Shinji has to kill Karu. That just makes it even sadder for me, to be honest.
Well, yeah. Let's just we've been on this topic for long.
This is the anime stream now. We already know that.
Yeah, I could probably derail it for hours, so I'll say nothing.
We can
Welcome to the hour of Ava.
we can come back to this another time, but let's go. Just a retro game which I thought would be fun to talk about is Goldeneye. Did anyone here play it?
Golden!
Oh, God.
A long time ago. Wow.
Also,
I was
by the
in
way,
high
fuck
school.
anyone who says that game is shit, that we're some kind of nostalgic assholes, because that is bullshit.
That was a great game. That was a fun
Are you
one.
kidding me?
You
What
can
made
talk the fuck
GoldenEye
you
such a great game? What made GoldenEye such a great game was what made GoldenEye such a really good game was the fact that they. Give me a second here. It was like the first ever one of the first console first-person shooters.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but a while back, a couple of people actually kind of remade the game using the Source engine, and I've heard it's actually really good.
It is a good game. I mean, yeah, they did a good job with it.
They did.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing. The original N64 version was pretty much. That was a reason why you'd go around to a mate's house, because they had an N64 and they had Goldeneye and they had 4 controllers.
It was the essential party game.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, this did what Super Mario Party, whatever. I can't think right now. Sorry, but you guys know which one I'm talking about. Yeah, I mean, you get all of your friends together and just, all right, let's kick each other's ass. Let's go. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, there are a few games that were like that. There was like I said, Mario Party. There's also Super Smash Brothers, which is another amazing retro game. GoldenEye, yeah, they
Original Mortal Kombat for me.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I'll
mean,
give you
games aren't like
my
this anymore.
story. Actually, I'll end with my story about GoldenEye, because I think that will tickle everyone. So you all talk about it. It's a good story. Yeah.
Can't wait to hear this.
Well, everyone. Mine's the finale. You think you're going to be able to top me? That's how I. That's how I'm.
Material finale.
So,
As far, sorry.
you want to go first?
Um,
I have some issues. I have some things I want to bring up. So, with regards to GoldenEye, I agree with. I don't remember who it was that wrote this, but someone wrote an article once about GoldenEye saying that it was one of his favorite games because it had something very rare for a game. It had an excellent single player and an excellent multiplayer, none of them were worse than the other, so to speak. They were both. They both helped each other bring the game to excellency. Is essentially what it meant, and I think there's something to that, because I like to play that game a lot as a kid. I played the single player a lot. I played the multiplayer a lot, and I think I never got bored of it. I mean, I tried to get the. I guess you all played to unlock the sheets in Facility, for example. It took forever to fix, but in the end you actually got it, and it was great. I mean, I've been playing. First you play a mission on easy or an agent, and then you try to play the same mission on secret agent, and then on 00 agent.
Then 00, yeah.
That was what I did.
For the love of God, don't play the remake. Trust me.
No. Avoid it like the plague,
the
man.
Wii one.
It's so crappy. So
What?
it's so bad.
The Wii one you're talking about?
Yes.
And the
I actually
PS3
really
one.
enjoyed that one. Well, I really enjoyed the Wii one, so I'm gonna have to be a dissenter there.
I mean, it was fun to a point, but
It might be
it was
good,
Call
but
of
it's
Duty.
I'm going to make the
Call of
argument
Duty
that the
original.
control of the nunchuck and the wand, or where the fuck, the Wiimote, I think that was the closest experience I've ever had to sort of mouse and keyboard on any console. I think they really did the control system very well on that. And I quite enjoyed the game, so I mean, I played both. So, I mean, obviously you got your own opinions, but you're wrong.
Shots fired. Gonna get you.
Oh my.
Yeah, I had a neighbor which we loved kind of fucking around with, and basically we always told him it was 2 versus 2, but I made it so it was 3 versus 1, and we just killed the fuck out of him, which was fun as hell. Kind of mean, but I thought it was fun. And he, to make it fair, sometimes we used to make it. He was able to get the golden gun, and we were going after him with regular guns. So
You know what?
That also became playing Odd Job.
Yeah, one of my favorites was there was a really tall cowboy in Jaws. We would play Facility. Me and my cousin, we had 4-player mode on. One of the best things about the 64 was it was like one of the first I could do 4-player. We had it where I would my cousin would crouch down as the cowboy guy, and I would jump on his shoulders as Jaws in the bathroom on the Facility level, and it would jump up, and I would jump up into the vents, and I would make it almost impossible when we play team play. Nobody could ever get me.
The thing was there were also so many modes with different guns, which was so much fun. With an excellent.
There was no end to the variety.
Yeah, and an excellent single player which had tanks and just a tank level and just different locations, and you got to use your your tech with your watch, which you could use, and just a really fun
Yeah,
game.
that's the thing. I did quite like the watch as a basic UI element. That made a lot of sense in the James Bond universe.
By the way,
Oh, yeah.
if you want to play more games like GoldenEye, I would strongly recommend trying out the Time Splitter series, because that's basically the same guys that made GoldenEye that jumped out of Rare and created a company called Free Radical, and they made a bunch of they made a series called Time Splitters, and it's
Was
basically
that
the
the
same game.
Golden? Was that the?
Time Splitters or something, man.
Time
sounds-
Splitters 1, Time Splitters 2, Time Splitters Future Perfect.
Is that on PlayStation, the first one?
I believe it was on PlayStation. I believe it was on GameCube, PlayStation 2 maybe.
Oh.
I can't say for sure.
Time Splitters was a light gun game, right?
It was what?
Light gun game.
It's no, it's basically you travel in time to different locations, and you have different weapons depending
I
on
think
what
when you
timeline
say
you are
light
on.
gun, I mean, I'm going to get technical because a light gun generally works upon the principle of blacking out the screen apart from targets and then sensing very primitively whether or not the light sensor was reading light or dark. I mean, that probably survived up
Oh,
until
you mean like old Zapper
like
games?
the NES,
But
probably
they
up until
had-
like the SNES era. Then the technology's improved, like
Duck
the
Hunt.
Wii sensor and shit like that.
But there was like the oh shit, it got invaded. But one of the problems was with the light gun system and stuff is you had basically with like the PS3, I think it was Time Splitters where you had the guns where you just shot at the screen and stuff.
I only
But it was
remember that
turn.
from like games like House of the Dead.
House of the Dead.
You're thinking of Time Crisis, maybe?
Time Crisis, that's it.
That's another one, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
Time
popular.
They
Splitters.
tend to work best in the arcades, I find, because they have the best. Like you have the diverse weapons and shit. I remember there was the Alien arcade one. It was quite fun because you basically had the fucking pulse rifle in the arcade cabinet, which was fucking awesome.
Area
But,
51
apart
was
from
always
that-
my
But
favorite.
yeah, Time Splitters and
arcade
Time Crisis
shooter.
are two different series. Yeah.
Well, go ahead and tell your story, Des. I think.
All right. Well, I think everyone will like this one. So okay, this is there's two firsts in this story. The first time I was playing Goldeneye, and the first time I got massively stoned. So it's my 18th birthday.
boy.
Yeah, I know. 18th birthday, and basically, a guy I knew from school basically went out. We're basically going to meet up another guy who has quite a large house. Obviously, not his house, his parents' house. But we all went out into the woods, sort of lying there. Took a few shotties, like bongs, as you might say, and we all went back and played Goldeneye, and I was completely wasted. And then in the evening, I went and had a fancy meal with my family for my 18th birthday. So that was quite an interesting evening. There we go. So there's two firsts in there, and then a fancy meal whilst recovering from large amounts of cannabis.
Dude, alright.
Did they ever find out? Your parents, I mean.
No.
Well, they do now.
Well, my dad barely knows how to use a computer despite my tutelage, so.
Oh.
But I mean, well.
Come on, you're in your
Not
30s
like-
now.
not like-
What would it matter?
Well, even then, it's not like my dad hasn't smoked, so.
Maybe they knew, they just didn't tell you.
I
Well,
think most of us have partaken at least
Possibly.
once. I think most of us
Possibly,
have
I don't
partaken
know.
at least once.
I haven't
Well,
taken it at all, but that's just.
But
I tend to keep it a very. I'm drug-free, alcohol-free, tobacco-free.
This is the thing for me. For me, GoldenEye will always be associated with being mashed out your face and playing full-player fucking GoldenEye. There's no other way. There's no way around that. There's just no way.
You know what? That's
I
how I
understand
always
that.
viewed it. Like your first time playing, you have something that's impairing your mind.
Well,
that's not as weird as my association. I will always associate in my mind sugar cookies with the Aladdin game for the Sega Genesis. So don't ask.
well, let's
Good
move
thing
on
it's
to
the SNES
the
version, by the way.
next topic, which is, in your opinion, the worst publisher at the moment.
Publisher.
Yeah,
right
this is a
now,
tricky one.
It's
I
a-
can't really say Ubisoft because it looks like they're learning from their mistakes in the past. I mean,
It's
they've
a tie
done this.
between, yeah.
They make a shitty move and they learn from their mistakes when people get pissed off. That's what they stopped doing Always Online. That's why Assassin's Creed 2 was the only Always Online game.
I'm gonna go with the tie between Ubisoft and EA.
EA for customer support, they're the best. You have to look at this in two different aspects: how they make games and how their customer support works. EA has the best customer support, and I'm putting that out there. Valve has the worst.
Valve has a lot of compensation
no, but I'm
to
just
fix
saying,
with in
but
terms
I'm
of.
just saying, but I'm just saying in general what you want to put it as. Who has the best of one, who has the worst of what.
Valve
Yes,
did
right
like
now,
I would agree. I would agree to a point. I mean, Valve does have a crappy customer support.
So what you're saying is that they have to have good customer service because their games are shitty.
Let me put it like this, okay? I grew up with Valve since I would think 1999, sorry. And
Well,
I
it could
mean,
be 89. They didn't exist then.
I'm sorry. Anyway, so I've been playing their games in over a decade, basically. So we have a lot of history there, you know. So in a way, they have to do a lot to disappoint me. I mean, yes, their customer service is crappy, and I would never want to be part of someone who gets their company hacked or whatever, you know. But so, like I said, if I ever get into that point, maybe I'll lose my respect in them. Yes, I would probably do that. But in terms of EA, they have done a lot of shitty business decisions with regards to releasing buggy games, and I think that weighs a lot more than a good customer service, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion.
I personally don't think even EA or Ubisoft are the worst. I think 2K and and Warner Brothers games are the worst at the moment.
Actually,
I
Warner
could agree on
Brothers.
Warner Brothers
I
in
could agree with
terms of
Warner Brothers
MK10.
because
I'm
after what
surprised
happened
nobody's
with
saying
Arkham
Konami.
Knights, after what happened with Arkham Knights, I would have to say, yeah, Warner Brothers is probably the worst because they put it like this: how they said, we aren't gonna, we made our money, we're not gonna fix the game for you guys. We made all the money we had, so we're not gonna further fix the game for
You mean
Arkham
Arkham
Origins. Yes.
And the shit they pulled with Shadow of Mordor of not giving out review copies for a positive.
That was crappy, indeed.
That was a shitty move, and everybody's saying, "Oh no, it's not." And I keep trying to tell them, "Yeah, that is a shitty move. That's poor That's poor ethics." And
That's definitely poor ethics.
Yeah, and they say, "What are you
Finally, we
giving?"
had a hashtag so we could complain on Twitter about that shit.
Yeah, I mean, come on now.
Someone should start that.
2K has been really shitty with their 2K thing and some of the games with
the only one that they're doing good on is Grand Theft Auto, and that's the only
pretty much.
one.
But that's because of Rockstar. That's like BioWare under
because of
EA.
Rockstars.
Well, I mean, it's true. Rockstar pretty much call the shots.
Yeah, like BioWare in EA, even though EA has perhaps a little bit more influence compared to Rockstar, but that's because Rockstar does GTA, so they just tell them to shut the fuck up. We're making you money.
One of the worst examples I could think of was, like, I keep talking about this, the WWE game that just recently came out.
Yeah, which is 2K.
They took one of the most popular wrestlers, a British wrestler. She's super popular in England, super popular here in the Americas, and they took her out and they locked her as DLC, which was a shitty move. Like, you had to buy the season pass for her to get her. And it was one of the most shittiest moves I've ever seen any company ever do. I mean, the fact that they would do a DLC lock on someone that's already been scanned for the game and everything like that. They would scan this person for the game, so yeah, DLC lock and everything. And then they decide to say, hey, we'll give you the season pass for the extra stories, and I'm like, hey, you have to pay more money for other DLC. That's shitty move, and 2K's been doing that for the past 2 years when they acquired the WWE license. THQ was doing a better job. And this is the worst part. THQ was doing a better job with the series, and they screwed the game up when Ubisoft or 2K got it.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't mention Konami because we don't know all the details so far. It's a lot of.
I'm gonna say this. If we're gonna talk bad DLC practices, I'm gonna go with Capcom, basically for releasing games.
Yeah. But also
this it's not DLC.
But
okay.
What I'm starting to see is this.
It's not.
Can I say something here now?
Yeah.
Nintendo is doing it now too with the amiibos. They're putting on disc DLCs with the amiibos, so you can't unlock some of the characters.
Yeah, but it's a bit of a gray area in my opinion, since it's a physical you get a physical plastic figure.
Yeah, but
thing.
still, it's still considered on disc DLC.
We can talk about that later. It's a topic.
File that under capitalism. Anyway.
Any other publishers you think are bad?
Yeah, I hate Blizzard because they still haven't released Legacy of the Void. Fuckers.
It's coming, man. Keep
if I die before they release them, I'll be very angry.
I would say the same about Half-Life 3, but yeah.
Actually, you know what? I did just think of one. Riot, look. We are so sick of bots showing up on our team every single game. They keep feeding the other guys. Then next thing you know, we have like one guy coming after us, level 20-something, because one of our bots fed him. We're sick of it. People have been on your forums for the past 6 months bitching about it. It's becoming a problem. Fix it.
Jeez.
Fix it.
Jeez, Lisa.
Yeah, that gets irritating. It gets really irritating because
you should contact Fix It Felix.
Can we fix it?
I mean,
it really does get irritating.
No, it's fucked.
This is basically the thing for me. The reason why I chose Blizzard in the kind of flippant way is simply because I think everyone's brought up a good point, and they kind of all shitty as each other in many respects. Whereas I actually quite like Blizzard. It's just like, yeah, they do take a while to get their shit done. And I'm not a World of Warcraft player or fucking Diablo 3, so I haven't had to deal with any of that shit. So I guess if you probably were a player of those games, you probably have much more to say. So
I want to give.
I mean, none of them are perfect by any means.
I mean, if you look at Blizzard, I want to give credit where credit is due. But I mean, look at Diablo 3. It was a shitfest for a long time, and they actually got their thumbs out of their ass and removed the auction house, and they did an entire makeover with regards to the system. They had the new loot system. They made much more different stats types. What do you call it? Like, you know, you can get other things than just strength, vitality, whatever. You know, you can get all kinds of stuff now, and you can get loot from all kinds of things. There's much more to do. There's much more things to discover, and you know, there's basically much more time to. You can do much more things than you used to.
Would be the phrase, I think. Like it's more rich. It's more.
It's a richer game. True.
Yeah.
All right. Anything before we move on from this topic? Yes. No. All right.
Yeah, anyone in the chat mentioned Nintendo for their YouTube.
I did.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah.
That's another time. That's another topic.
Yeah, but yeah, screw that.
Yeah,
I would say Nintendo, stop being cunts. Just,
can you share this again?
Of course.
The next topic. There's a new trailer for an open world dinosaur game, which is called Ark Survival Evolved.
I thought it was going to be the other game. What was it called again?
Yeah, just gonna share.
Oh man, that actually looks like a pretty good game.
Yeah, let's wait to present it.
Yeah, 1 second. Get this shit. So it will be sorted momentarily.
Oh man, hey guys, I'm back. Holy shit!
Okay.
Back once again, like a renegade master.
I just came
Now
into
silence. You can silence your voice now because we're about to play a video. Here we go. You can wait till the end.
Yes.
Hey, video.
The fuck?
You need a bigger gun on the fucking bow, I'll tell you that.
Holy shit, that was awesome.
Turok Dinosaur Hunter?
Oh man. I could tell you.
What do you guys think?
Looks like
There's only one thing I have to say. Please do not, and I mean do not, make this online only.
It is. So far,
it
only
is.
online.
It's offline or online.
I'm glad
The
they
music-
made a
the
game
music
out of Dino
sucks.
Riders, the 90s cartoon. I have to say that.
it's like Batman says, looks like Far Cry and Turok, and I'm gonna add looks like a bit of Panzer Dragoon as well.
The land before time.
Protecting me now.
Oh God.
But I'm just
Before
saying,
time, the game.
could I just say this? I just hope it's not like a Rust, because Rust is online only, and they're just a bunch of jackasses online when you're trying to survive. I'm
So
tired.
far, they've only
Stop
announced.
presenting me, Andredal. Everyone will see me all the time.
Okay,
doing
what were you
things I
going to
want
say,
to
Andrew, at all? Were we saying Andrew at all before you interrupted?
So far, they've only announced that it's online.
Online? Great.
Yeah, online only.
Shit. No, because they make these games PvP and they just drive me insane. I hate PvP only games. They just.
Just a little off topic. I just wanted you to know the reason I came back. It was impossible to have a conversation on the other stream. There was too many people.
So now you want to come back on our stream?
Yeah, because you can actually have a conversation with people, and besides, they were discussing the
Hey, just a minute. Look, just a minute. We're the cool kids, all right?
Yeah, we're the cool ones. We're the cool ones again. We're the cool
Yeah,
ones.
Lisa.
Grass is always greener on the other side.
Can we get together again?
Fuck you.
Didn't even bring any fucking flowers.
Friend zoned.
You have been friend zone, motherfucker.
It's midnight. There's not a fucking flower shop open.
Cry entitlement
Hey,
and write a manifesto already.
I know, right? Yeah, it's 6 p.m. where I am, so that's no excuse.
It's like cry me a river.
So, do you guys think this game is interesting?
I would definitely look. I mean, it looks to me like you've got elements. I mean, well, I guess they're probably boring. I mean, Rust was mentioned, and it definitely looks like there's an element of crafting there. We saw a bit of world building, which looked like you were building up some sort of like tower or something like that. I guess an outpost or something like that. And then obviously, it looked with the fact you got like wild dinosaurs, and then you got dinosaurs with harnesses and stuff, and it looks like there's a element of like domestication, some sorts, like probably dino capturing.
Yeah, because you could mount several dinosaurs and creatures.
I would be.
Okay.
I know the
I would be.
combination of very primitive and some more advanced technology, because there's a mixture of guns and fucking wooden sticks with sharp stones attached to them.
Yeah, it's coming to PC, Xbox One, and PS4, and early access on June 2nd on Steam.
Yeah, what it looks good. You know what makes it better than games like Rust is the fact that you cannot, and I mean you cannot, try to kill each other, because there are dinosaurs that will try to do that for you. And what makes Rust so terrible is you build a lot of stuff up, and then there's these jackasses that'll just attack you out of nowhere and shoot you because they had more time to play.
That's
know.
always going to be a problem with those sort of games. It's like whoever puts the most time in wins, basically.
Yeah, and it gets.
I don't know.
Which will not be me.
And they literally wait
the
till
main
you
issue
gather a
of the
lot
game.
of resources and they kill you then.
The main problem I have with this game is that there is no single player mode. If this game had single player mode, I would be all over it. I would love to play this game. But
that sounds like a deal killer to me, because I don't play a lot of multiplayer. So
I hate multiplayer. I like multiplayer.
Whatever, Jotzi Croshaw.
Well, guys, I gotta piss off again, but not because I want to leave you all, but because my internet
what the
connection
fuck
is
is
going.
this? This is a serious relationship, not a
This is
fling.
a stick
You
up.
can just pick up and put down anytime.
Why
you
do
feel
you
like
think
it.
I said fuck you?
Is this your headmate talking?
Well, no, I'm not kidding around. This time,
Mm-hmm.
it's really my internet connection that is going off the fritz again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just barely I didn't, instead of hearing the first time, I heard something that sounded like the devil.
Okay, guys, enough with the mic.
That was probably intentional.
I like the way you die.
You're tearing me.
Oh, fuck you! Fuck you! And fuck that joke!
It will never end, Lisa. You know this.
Well, back to the topic. You're gonna leave again like that Norwegian guy.
Well, yeah, I can stay a little longer unless. But
No,
if I suddenly
go.
this.
No one
No,
wants
just
it.
go.
You have
I can
been
say-
denied.
Alright, did you see the trailer we just played then?
Yeah, I saw the trailer. I just came in right before you started it.
Alright, cool. Well, what was your opinion then?
Well, I mean, like I said, I would be hyped as hell if this game was not, if this game was single player as well. I liked it. I mean, I love the idea of a new dinosaur game. God knows there's not enough dinosaur games out there. I mean, you have like Jurassic Park Lego coming out soon, but that's not enough. We need more dinosaur games. So I'm all for it. But I don't like. If I want this game to, if this game has been like a single player game where you could build shit without worrying about other fucking people, then yeah, I would be ecstatic.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess that's the question, isn't it? Is what multiplayer angle they're going for? Because it very much
If
looks
they
like
make a
It's-
PvP, I will say screw
Yeah.
you. I'm not
it
playing
sounds like co-op.
Good. First
From-
PvP,
you
I'm
can
gonna
we
say to you
did see the
guys.
co-op
screw you.
elements, but the
Yeah.
main thing is it looks like I'm wondering whether it's going to be like a time sink like World of Warcraft, because some of the things like building up like your defenses or something like that bit of Little Fort seems like a sort of game where they're going to be very time demanding.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's
It's hard to tell. It's so.
And this is what I have to say to the creators of Rust. Screw you all for screwing up a good game by making it all PvP, because you put so much time. And players, could I do my rant here without being interrupted for a second?
You're
I
not.
was taking a breath, dude.
Oh, sorry, I thought somebody just tried to cut me off for a second.
Right.
But, yeah,
Wow!
but yeah, my little rant here about this is these people, they'll have guns and stuff, and you're trying to collect resources just to survive. They wait till you collect a lot, then they shoot you. This is what I hate about these games, is they do shit
Leon?
like this. What?
When you interrupted Lisa there, it was like, "Be quiet, woman. I want to
No,
rant."
I was doing a rant and someone cut me off, and I'm like, I didn't think it was Lisa. I wasn't looking at the
Go
screen.
home, get girl.
This is-
Give it to
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
I will not elevate you to the level of femalehood. I shall simply assume you're male, and that
Hey,
way
you
I
have
can
said
be
you
as
like my
sexist as
mantis,
possible.
You have said you like my mantis in the past, so
I know. It's
I don't know what
true.
that says about you.
Yeah.
Not as much as I say about myself, but that's a topic for another time.
Well, any last
Yeah,
thoughts
but
on this?
if they can make this not PvP and just do it like an open world game of co-op and survival and disable the ability to harm other players, I'm up for it. I am up for it.
You know, the other thing, it kind of remind me of like I don't know if anyone else has seen like Journey to the Center of the Earth, like the old sort of like 60s, 70s film. It kind of reminded me of that
Oh,
a
yeah.
bit, the aesthetic.
I saw
Like
that.
you got dinosaurs and you got primitive people and you got this guy from basically from the future, although he's actually from the surface in that film. It's all very
There is a Canadian TV show called The Lost World, which has the most ridiculous line in it ever in a television series. He basically this professor guy, right? He finds a purple blood, and the first line out of his mouth is, "This blood doesn't even look remotely human." No shit, it's purple. What?
Thanks, Professor.
Yeah,
Wow.
The Lost World. I believe the series is called.
You mean, well, I probably should be bleeding purple then, should I?
The lost talent in writing, more like.
Yeah, let's move on to the next topic, which is DICE screwing up Battlefront even more, which they removed.
Fuck those guys. Fuck them.
Yeah, they
Burn in hell. Goddamn Swedes.
Oh wow.
well.
Grand nationality is nice now.
Let me
Well,
say
this is
what
related.
Hey, can we let him speak, niggas?
yeah.
Sorry,
let's-
go ahead, man.
Nah.
The Battlefront will not have any classes which were in Battlefront 2. They will not have
Mhm.
squads or not aiming down sights.
Yeah, we've known about that for a while. What's gonna happen is what they want to do when they said no iron sights is they're too tight. The ones who are creating this game says that was never in the Battlefront games in the past, so why should we make that now?
They want to make it like Star Wars because the stormtroopers can't aim for shit.
Yeah.
Well, I guess.
But you know what? When I was playing Battlefront, if the weapons have scopes, I would say yeah, I would be up for it.
I have to say, this is interesting because I'm just reading the YouTube comments, and a lot of them are EA better not fuck up this game like they did with Battlefield 4, Battlefront 3 crashes, BF4XE has stopped working. Let's be real here, DICE will make a crappy single player campaign, remove the fight against the bots feature, remove split screen, and have weapon unlocks. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of skeptical people in the comments of this.
They have,
Mm-hmm.
they have really. It's been incredible the backlash this game already has gotten. It's been a PR nightmare for EA and DICE. This game
Of course,
specifically.
they're being dumbasses.
I mean, everybody is like, but I mean, the more I hear about this game, the more. The less reason I have to buy it. It seems. I actually am to the point now where I no longer give a shit, because unless they do something dramatically different, and I actually get to see some gameplay at E3 in a couple of weeks, I am like, for the God's sakes, show some gameplay. Show that you actually are giving a damn and making a product that is worth playing.
Yeah, the thing they showed in Star Wars Celebration was just the game engine.
Engine footage, yeah.
So,
engine.
Can I ask you guys, what do you think about the argument that some are making, or at least I am making, that maybe the game isn't that rich on content, but that we have at least quality over quantity? Like maybe the game isn't that bad just because it has less than Battlefront 2. I mean, yes, it has less levels, less classes, less playable characters, and whatnot.
Fewer.
No,
fewer. The grammar Nazi is coming in here to point out that it's fewer is what you meant, not less.
There is no single player. There is no galactic conquest. There is no co-op and just the missions, which they haven't even detailed. And just, yeah, and we don't even know if there's local co-op, and it's gonna be pretty much just multiplayer. So they can fuck off.
Yeah, that's all they're trying to make the game is multiplayer, and that's just the stupidest thing they could have ever done. They had years to work on Battlefront, and they screw it up.
I mean, there was so much, but what
and
really
EA
is sad,
was the reason why Pandemic died.
Yeah, I agree with that, Leon, and I just want to say that what is a damn shame about Battlefront in particular is that DICE had they had a huge opportunity to make something really great from a single player perspective, and they just said fuck it. It's
Disney even came out and said the story, which is in Battlefront, but no, there's no story, is canon.
And they kill the story of all the other games, like the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic series. They kill those stories.
Just because I'm not paying attention, have they completely retconned all of the book?
Yes, they
retconned the books. Yes.
God fucking damn it!
Except for the books that recently came out and the book that comes out in September, because that is the new canon.
I think the best way to treat this shit is to say, look, I don't give a fuck, because clearly you fuckers don't know what the fuck you're doing story-wise, so I'm just going to make up my own canon, and I'll say what's fucking canon.
Blackjack and hookers.
Exactly.
On second thought, forget the blackjack.
Just... well,
that's
in my universe...
That's disappointing because I feel like if they were ever to make like a Star Wars movie that is based on any of the books, the Thrawn trilogy would be so fucking boss to see as a movie.
There are a lot of things
this is the point at which you're reminded, with heart heavy, that this is all about making money. It's not about entertaining people. That's merely a byproduct. If you get entertained in the process of buying a movie ticket,
you make money by entertaining. Nah, that's a silly idea.
Yeah, I mean, if you're entertained as a byproduct, it's kind of, well, that's okay. As long as you bought the fucker, you've kind of already lost, which is why I'm very much anti-fucking pre-order, because that's.
I'm not buying. I'm not doing anything with Battlefront games. I'm gonna wait on it. It's because because the fact that they made a single player, multiplayer only. I don't know what the hell. I mean, Ubisoft learns from their lessons, but EA never had.
I will say this though: if we don't get to see proper gameplay at E3 in a couple of weeks, then I'm out. That really shows that they don't have any confidence at all for their game.
If there's one game you should never pre-order, it's this game. I mean, seriously. I can't see any other game being less pre-orderable.
Because this game, judging by what we're hearing so far about Battlefront, this game looks a lot like to be EA's version of Evolved.
Yes, and it's bullshit. It's
bullshit. Who plays Evolve anymore?
This definitely seems the basic problem, as far as I can see these days, which is there's a lot of prettiness, and there's not much. Well, actually, this is what the social justice wars would complain about. That game is all pretty and no brains. Where's the brains?
Well, the social justice warriors have neither, so.
Well, that is the thing. You complain less about. Oh, right, the woman's got big tits. It's like, but is there a brain behind those tits? That's the question.
Your camera's on.
Well, the thing I forgot to mention Evolve earlier, which is also a 2K abomination. So yeah. But yeah, I just think it's gonna be a total disaster regarding with Battlefront. So hopefully.
Did you want me to play the trailer?
No, not necessary because I don't want the fucking thing to be playing. I'm gonna tell you if there's anything I want to play.
No problem. I just wanted to make sure.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next topic, which we kind of touched on earlier.
What's that?
Dead air, motherfucker.
Yeah,
yes, you are.
when
Shut
someone
up.
leaves, my Chrome stops for a second, so that's why. We touched on this earlier, which is the amiibos having on this DLC, and everyone seems to be alright with it.
I am not alright with it. What the amiibos were designed for was kind of like how Skylanders were, was they had the data on the thing itself, and now they're just trying to make it like, oh, the data's already on the game, but you need to have an amiibo to unlock it. And you know how shitty Nintendo handled the amiibo sales and stuff.
Yeah, the difference is between Skylanders and the even Disney Infinity is that it's within one game and you're actually buying DLC with the statues.
Mm-hmm.
With the amiibos, you're actually getting on-disc DLC on different games, which is.
I was reading the secret Skype Cabal conversation on this, and what was interesting is like I think the the key difference is really. You're not really, if you don't have the amiibos, you're not really missing out on anything. Not really. It's kind of like, oh, you get a new costume or some shit like this. Okay. It's not like, oh, you're missing out on massive levels or anything like this. Is this shit I could live with for the rest of my life? If I die and I don't have the Mario amiibo to get a little Mario costume for my Wii, my Mii or some shit like that, I could still die with saying I have no regrets. So. That's kind of like meh on that sort of thing. If it was like, right, if you don't buy all 20,000 amiibos, then you're not going to get this secret amazing fucking level. Yeah, I'd be kind of pissed off about that shit.
Yeah.
It's just because
I think it's better that you have at least a valid sort of DLC. Like, I don't even want to call it DLC since it's all in there.
I mean, that's the basic. It's really trivial stuff. That's.
And at least but the only thing in this is you don't have to pay more.
Even if it is trivial stuff, it's on. You own it. You own the content on the disc.
Read your EULA, motherfucker. You don't own shit. That's. I'm not even. Well, that's kind of. I mean, this is the thing. You look at it from the ownership perspective, then yes, what you should, and I'm not sure what your local laws are in other countries, but I'm pretty sure the law here is basically if you have your piece of hardware, you can pretty much do what the fuck you like with it. So if you want to hack your hardware in order to read that disk, or do whatever you need to do to read the data off, encrypt it or not, crack that encryption or whatever, I believe in America, cracking encryption would fall under DMCA laws. Don't think that applies here. I'm not a lawyer, but this is not legal advice. I just want to point this out.
I wouldn't hire you to be my lawyer.
Well, that would be sensible because I haven't got to law school, so that would be a very sensible move. But I don't think it applies in the UK. But I could be wrong. But yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, it's hard, but you know, fucking pirates going to do it. Of course, these are people who live their lives for the challenge of doing this shit. But it's hard for me to get upset about this shit when the kind of things you unlock are so trivial. It's like, am I going to buy a little tiny plastic figurine, swipe it over my fucking Wii U gamepad, and then nothing's really that different. Okay, well that was fucking worth it.
I don't know how you could just swipe it and never use it again. Like
basically.
So how bad is it to own a plastic doll and the DLC compared to just the DLC?
Well, I mean, it's the thing. I mean, I guess this is the problem with the whole. I never thought about DLC before I fucking started getting back in the game again, and then it was all over the fucking place. And it's like, I don't consider this is not this is disc loadable content, not downloadable content.
So that's a better term.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Is like I say, when they say on disc DLC, I just say no, it's DLC, but the DLC acronym now stands for something else. Hidden shit on disc. Yeah, you can kind of get it if you really wanted to fucking get your soldering irons out and all that kind of shit. But yeah, I mean, this is the thing. If it was, I absolutely understand the argument. You own it, although. Really, I mean, it's more in the past, especially with DVDs and VHS and all that shit. It's always the case. Like, you ever see any copyright notices? They say stuff like for home reproduction only, not to be played in, like I mean, shit. If you took like a DVD into like your college or school or something and played that, then you'd be violating the terms of copyright, and technically the FBI could come and knock down your door and then shoot everyone in the room. So you don't want to mess with that shit. But it would never happen, of course. And most of the time, in the past, copyright restrictions are always based upon the technical limitations. And the fact is, you never had the technology to really stop the shit. The only difference nowadays is it's slightly more practical to really put a limitation on it. Mostly with obviously remote servers and stuff like that, encryption keys. But there's always a way around that shit, as they say. But yeah, when it's so unimportant, and I don't even know where the fuck I'd buy an amiibo, for fuck's sake. And I'm not interested, so I guess I don't give a fuck, really.
What do you think about the argument that Total Biscuit is making about the DLC when it's in terms of, okay, so you have a art team that doesn't do anything during the end of the game development, so they have them do something instead that they can then add later to the game as DLC because it's easy to make and it's easy to implement without having to bug test it and so on.
Well, that sounds. I mean, that sounds basically like the sort of thing you would do. Is like to assume you're familiar with the concepts they use on aircraft, which is basically the residual economic value, which is basically the reason why it's cheap to get a seat on like the last flight is because they want to fill up the aircraft, and it doesn't matter how much you pay, whether it's actually worth the money. Some money is better than no money, which is basically the argument. So yeah, I can see why you do that. If you've still got some artist on retainer for that project, and you need to get them doing something, you might as well get them doing some shit that you're gonna add on later, which isn't core to the project, than just having them sit there twiddling their thumbs.
Yeah, I'm kind of sure that.
Yeah, but I still think that it's unacceptable, and it seems like
I have no clue.
Nintendo is getting a free pass just because they're Nintendo, because of this shit. Capcom didn't get away with it.
On the free pass thing, I mean, obviously you heard my argument, which is basically I don't care about it because it's so trivial, but it seems hardly worthwhile getting excited about. Like I say, if it was something bigger, I might care about it. But please, I mean, if you can think of equivalent examples where it would be less trivial, like you literally, like you can't play a particular level, or it really gives you a massive disadvantage.
Well, there are missions and stuff like that on in one of the game. I can't remember which. Maybe it was Toad Treasure or whatever it's called.
Okay, yeah,
Extra level.
that would be the kind of shit I'd be saying. Well, that's just bullshit in that case. That's
Yeah,
definitely
and
what
you're
I'd agree.
getting like extra stuff within the game which you already own, which is the issue. It's also the principle of the matter that you
Well,
don't have access to it.
yeah, that's the thing because the games I've got, I think the only ones that support Amiibo, like Super Smash, Mario Kart, as far as I can tell, you just get different skins for some of the players, and it's like.
So I can answer this. So I mean, it's one thing if you like lock away an entire character like Capcom does in their fighting games, but if you take a game like say Super Smash Brothers for Wii U, you have, I believe this. You can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I believe you can actually do certain things with the amiibo character. You can train it with using your amiibo, and then it stores the statistics about your character on this amiibo storage device. So there is other things than just a cosmetic skin. I do believe they do allow for other things as well that you can't do without an amiibo. But I mean, it seems minor to me. To me, it seems like something I don't really care about anyway. I'm not going to get any amiibos. I mean, heck, Nintendo is doing such a poor job getting enough amiibos out, they probably won't make any more. So basically, the scalpers have all of them.
Yeah, but in Hyrule Warriors, you get like extra stuff. So.
Care to elaborate?
God damn it! What was it? I can let me check. Amiibo rewards. Let's see. God damn it. I think you get an extra character. Let's see.
That would be different. If you get an entire character simply from using amiibos, that would be one thing.
I know you get like additional stuff in another game. In the thing I wrote, there's a video pretty much explaining it pretty well. Should we watch it, or we don't have to watch the whole thing? It's just half of the video. I don't know. Do you want to watch it?
Sure, why not?
We need to. There's actually needs to set it up. If he's there. Yes, no.
He probably had to go get something.
He went for a smoke.
Yeah, sorry, I've just come back there. I did hear you on it. What was it you required?
It's being explained very well in the video here. If you click on the article, there's a video there.
Is that the final boss man?
Yeah.
Okay, let's find this. This is the DLC is still sucky. Is that the one you talk? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we only need to watch half of it, but he pretty.
That's fine. Let me get this shit up. Okay, let me get that shit sorted out.
Fuck.
Calm down.
Okay.
All right, there we go. I'm gonna present it to everyone, and let's go.
Hello everyone, this is the Final Bossman, and if you want some bonus features for today's episode, please tap your Boss Amiibo onto the screen now. If you do not have a Boss Amiibo, you're not missing out on anything. Perfectly fine. Patient while the true fans do their thing.
Ew.
Everybody ready? Let's go! Hello everyone, I am Kyle Bossman, and I have a rule for this week's episode. No mental breakdowns. You may have noticed in the last couple of episodes, they end sort of with me leaning back in my chair, having some sort of depressive realization. Not this week. This week we're not having a mental breakdown. Or at least that's the goal. We'll see. We need that sign especially this week, because today's episode is about DLC in the year 2015, which is a bigger deal than ever, I guess. Basically, what's weird about DLC, why I feel weird about doing an episode about DLC, is it's weird for me to make advice about DLC, I guess. You know, I'm cool with giving publishers advice about how to do press conferences or how to tell a story better, you know, whatever I make an episode about. To me, I don't think I can give any advice to you, video game publishers, about how to do DLC, because clearly you're loving it. The impression we get from you, publishers, is that you love DLC, that you need DLC. We get the impression that games can't survive unless we buy your DLC. We get the impression that you are more excited about the DLC than anything else. Case in point, of course, talking again about Batman Arkham Knight. I feel like this is 3 episodes in a row about this. I'll try to breeze through it. Last week we talked about the press release, the initial press release about the Season Pass for Arkham Knight. Now we had a new press release that kind of defines what we're getting. You know, maybe there's a lot of backlash. We should tell everybody what they're getting. It's funny. I mean, it's a little more specific, but still very general. It's like, here's Batgirl, but also you'll get story missions. You'll get invading villains. We won't say who. Well, you know what? We'll explain it all later. Don't worry about it. You can buy this all now. Please do pay for everything, but we'll explain it all later. We'll explain what you're getting later. Oh my gosh. That is happening. That's the reality. Funny thing about that new press release that's even longer.
Is someone actually talking, or is that just background noise?
Longer than the last one. The word DLC is not in there once. The word content, yes, plenty of times, but none of this is ever referred to as DLC. I think that's maybe for one of 2 reasons. One, DLC might finally be a bad word. Maybe finally that is a word with a lot of negative connotations and publishers realize that. I mean, the word DLC kind of hurt Evolve really bad. When you think of Evolve, the next word is DLC. Maybe Evolve Goliath DLC. Evolve 4 players, Goliath DLC. I don't know where it comes in your order. But it hurt that game, and so maybe now they just figure, well, people love the word content, so let's offer them content, sure. But interestingly enough, one company that does still use the word DLC almost proudly is Nintendo with its Mario Kart 8 DLC Pack 1 and DLC Pack 2. Now, if I could give you a peek behind the curtain for a second. Go ahead and take a peek. Here. See what's going on back there? This week's episode, it was going to be about, hey, here's all the bad DLC. Look at Nintendo. They're doing it right. And in the case of Mario Kart 8, they are doing it right. This is comparatively very cheap DLC. It's also very expensive. It elevates Mario Kart 8 into something greater, despite the inclusion of Link. But also, you know, it's great. Mario Kart 8 DLC is so good. But then when I was starting to think about it, I was thinking about those amiibo costumes you get in Mario Kart 8, where if you put your amiibo on...
Oops. I'm sorry. Dennis, I accidentally muted you. I'm sorry.
Damn it, Blake.
What the hell, man?
Oh,
Damn it,
I
Blake.
thought it was still echoing.
You have to unmute yourself to say.
What's the problem?
He muted you.
I'm sorry.
What's going on?
Blake muted you.
Rewind like 20
Well, I was
seconds.
muted.
Yes, Blake muted you, so just go back like to 20 seconds.
Oh,
and,
God, no,
I hear
yes.
your camera finally, Blake.
I
That
forgot
wasn't
if I'm muted, then you can't hear a damn thing. So yeah, there we go.
just 20
Where am I
seconds.
going? 20 seconds. Okay.
I'm
That's
waiting
not 20 seconds. Hang on. That's more like 20 seconds. Here
Oh,
we go.
come on.
Go ahead.
Damn 30-second
Alright.
delay.
generally not frowned upon. It's get a free pass for some reason. Here's the thing. Like, you think of Skylanders. You think Skylanders toys to life. I like Skylanders. What's wrong with Skylanders? So, like, Skylanders, you're playing through the game, you get to, like, a gate, and a Skylander will say, you need a purple Skylander to get inside this gate. And you think, oh, well, that sucks. However, yeah, it does suck. That sucks, but that is the game. You bought a box with a bunch of Skylanders inside. You know what you're signing up for. That is what Skylanders is. You buy Hyrule Warriors, and you get to the spin top weapon, and you're like, you need a Link amiibo to use this little cool weapon. This spinner is exclusive to the Link amiibo. You say, what? I can't use that without buying that amiibo? Yep, go ahead and buy it. Sure. That is in that game. That's in a lot of games. You think of Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, there are amiibo-specific power-ups that make that game easier and cooler if you have the Kirby amiibo. 3 of them, 3 different Kirby amiibo. If you have those, that's good. That game is potentially more fun. You have those on your disc. You paid for those things, but you need the amiibo to unlock it. You want to play Mario Party 10? You want to play the boards that make the most sense, the ones that are closest to what Mario Party is actually supposed to be? You gotta use amiibo. You want the amiibo board? Buy yourself a Bowser. I don't care. If you don't want to, you can play the regular mode. Just last month, that Yoshi amiibo was announced. It is admittedly cute. Admittedly cute. It is, yeah, whatever. You see it. It's a cute little amiibo. But what does it do? How do we implement this? Well, you take it into Yoshi's Woolly World. You get a second little AI Yoshi behind you, and it makes the game easier. You cannot play like this unless you have the amiibo. You are not playing the same game as someone who doesn't have the amiibo. That is crazy. It makes me mad. And you know what's so weird? I don't understand why no one else is mad about this. I don't understand why we're all not furious about amiibo. Maybe we're not mad because really no one cares about Nintendo. Maybe it's like, it's Nintendo, who cares? Maybe we're not mad because Nintendo games don't have achievements, so who cares if they're easier? Maybe we're not mad because we like amiibo. Just like, I bought an amiibo. I'm happy that I can use my Yoshi amiibo for something. Maybe that's it? I don't know. It seems like something we should be mad about. But I just... Maybe we should just lie down and just take our little DLC feeding tube. You know, maybe we should accept that, like, this is part of video games now. You know, it's just... Batman costs $100. Maybe we should just embrace that.
Yeah, you can stop now.
Let's all shoot ourselves in the face.
So, what do you think?
I think he's right, because that is bullshit. Just saying, you need this amiibo for this sort of thing, or you need this amiibo for that, and it's like, can I just play the game? And all amiibo should do is like change the characters' costumes. That's my opinion. Or like, if you want to play a game and stuff, and think, hey, wouldn't it be like Super Smash Bros. And be like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if I could, like, amiibo could like early unlock a character, like early unlock. But if you progress through the game, you can unlock them without the amiibo. That's what amiibo should be used for. But they're using them for like, you need to use this where they use the spinner. You need the amiibo to play this certain map. And I'm thinking, you know how fast amiibos are selling now, and then they don't replenish them with the same ones. So if you don't buy that amiibo and they sell out and they don't make them anymore, what are you gonna do then? You're screwed.
Yeah, what do you now? You've seen it, the sex. What do you think?
Are you still presenting me? I'm just wondering because I'm.
No,
he didn't.
You're not. Okay. I must be doing something wrong on my end because all I can see is my gorgeous face, and this is.
You're probably pressing your avatar. That's
yeah,
why.
this is what I've. Yeah, I probably am. You're right. Hang on. Oh yeah. So. There we go. I get the point now because this is the thing. The only things I had seen, like I said, the only things I had seen was basically the costume changes, which I don't give a shit about. But what this guy's talking about, that's as I had expressed before. This is the bullshit moment where you go, this is beyond. Here's a tiny little add-on that no one could really give a shit about. Well, this is actually shit that massively affects the game.
Yeah, exactly. Which is my point. They're locking it behind a paywall, which is on the fucking disc.
Yeah, you need.
The only benefit is that, unlike other DLC systems, one amiibo could give you DLC for X number of games, right?
Yeah, exactly. If like I said, the Disney Infinity or Skylanders, which is a totally different because that's the same game. Yeah, that's one game.
It's one game.
The statues are actually DLC. And these are among multiple games.
Yes, and
that's
it might
the
work on multiple games, but it's bullshit, though. I mean, yes, you like to collect statues and stuff. I love collecting the Assassin's Creed statues.
I don't need any more bits of shit around my house. That's all I know. I've got enough crap.
But yeah, I like collecting the statues, and it's pretty cool that they'll be useful for in-game things. I might be buying a few amiibos pretty soon, but this is bullshit.
I guess that's presumably. That's presumably the entire reason why they came up with the fucking thing in the first place, because they knew there'd be people like you out there who go, I love little fucking statues. I love little tiny things. Love them.
I would like to go back to Skylanders for a second. I would assume, this is just me, by the way. Maybe it's the part that when you know that a game has locked content
Let's
behind
talk about that.
stuff like these figures, maybe then it makes it more okay, because you know it's behind those paywalls. You know you need these things. It's not as,
The transparency.
It's more
How
transparent.
much do amiibos cost?
Yeah, they cost a lot. I mean, what is it, like?
They're like $10. They're like $12.
I'll tell you how much it costs for a Chinese worker to make them. Cost them an arm and a leg, probably literally. They lost this poor little Chinese woman lost her arm making an amiibo for you, so you should be grateful.
Yeah, but I'm just
She
saying.
was paid. She was paid cents an
I
hour.
don't think that's how I'd react, but yeah.
That's my opinion of amiibos. Is it's bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the concept of it for like changing character colors or adding the character in there for an early unlock. I love that concept of amiibo. Just like how Nintendo tried to use trading cards on the Game Boy Advance a long time ago. I remember that, where they gave you that card reader, and
I guess I can see sort of like
I think
early
Amiibo will
access as a
go down that
benefit.
path.
You can you still get it after a time, but I mean, if you're a hardcore fan, you get it a bit earlier. I can kind of live with that.
Well, there's if you look back, I mean, there have been previous examples of games having content locked out because of you need things, but may not have been amiibos. But look at Metroid Prime, for example. You have certain parts of the game locked out because you haven't got the Game Boy Advance game and a cable to connect to the GameCube.
Oh,
Those are the worst.
No. Wait a minute. All it does is just unlocks the original Metroid for play, and it just unlocks a different costume for Samus. That's all it does.
But that's what the Legend of Zelda.
But you said that the NES version of the game is essentially a new thing, then.
Any one of those things, like the PS3 and the PS3, anything like that, where you've got to own more than one system to get a particular fucking thing, that's much worse.
How about, I don't know, let's see, how about...
There's no such thing, there's only crossbar.
You need 4 Game Boy Advances, 4 cables to the GameCube to play, and 3 hookers.
Well, there's nothing with Vita, and where you get like
Sony did a good job with how they designed the Vita and stuff. They didn't do it as very few of the Vita games had DLC. The only DLC ever seen in the Vita games itself was it would be considered like PlayStation Battle All-Stars Battle Royale did have DLC, but games like Mod Nations, where it's like unlock everything early on or something like that, you had to pay like $1 for. But that was the only thing the Vita had, and that was just it. They did the Vita good, but
that wasn't a thing. Deus Ex said there was stuff locked away on Vita or getting multiple systems.
I'm trying to recall. I think it might have been Killzone 3 or something that said like if you've got a PS Vita you can get some shit.
No, it's a PlayStation Portable.
I don't think so.
It's a PlayStation Portable, and it was that Killzone game on the PlayStation Portable. It's like Assassin's Creed 2. You needed the Assassin's Creed if you had the PlayStation 3 version. You needed the Assassin's Creed PlayStation Portable version with the Assassin's Creed.
I'm conflating them, so I may get the systems wrong. Okay. But I mean, you know the basic concept I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you mean. We can move on, which is to the next topic, which is E3 predictions.
Oh, I got a lot of them.
I predict hookers and blow.
Predictions with regards to what?
Milo and blow.
Well, just give one prediction what you're gonna see and what you're not gonna see.
Okay, I'm starting.
Otherwise, we're gonna.
I'm starting this one off.
Leon, go ahead.
SP. Mine for E3 is, the Bethesda panel they're having. I have a feeling they did that for either Fallout 4 or Elder Scrolls 5, but all of the evidence is pointing towards Fallout 4. Everything
So
is
you
pointing
think we're
towards.
gonna see Fallout 4?
Yes, everything, and there was a lot of evidence for a long time that this might happen. Like for instance, the voice actor for Three Dog, he says, "I can't say much about it, but you might be hearing from Three Dog again really
I
soon."
killed him.
Elder Scrolls with guns.
You know what? You know what? You're a despicable man, Three Dog. I actually
am.
like Three Dog. The only person I killed in that game was wait, no, that was a Skyrim
Well,
medic
let's
kill.
not talk about spoilers. But what do you think we're not gonna see?
We're not gonna see.
But we're not going to see anything good from Bethesda. That's one thing.
Well,
but-
let's
See Bethesda's lawyers, the MCA people.
let Leon talk first.
My opinion, like we're gonna see Fallout 3 and stuff from Bethesda, but we're not gonna see. I know this. Chances are we're not gonna hear anything from the new Legend of Zelda game. There's not gonna be much given from Nintendo. I don't think they did a really good presentation last year. Either they're gonna do something good this year or not. We might be seeing things from Halo and stuff like that. We might be seeing things. I don't think we're gonna see much from Sony in the lanes in the idea of exclusive content. I don't think that's gonna happen.
I would disagree with you because they have all these studios who
They
are working
do,
on
but
stuff.
they haven't been. They have, maybe Uncharted, but I'm not sure what they're gonna do. Sony is.
No, they
weird.
have Sony Band, Studio Japan. They have Guerrilla, who are working on a RPG. They have what else? Santa Monica, that game company.
The ones that did God of War.
Huh?
Are they the ones that did God of War? I can't remember.
Santa Monica.
Santa Monica. Yeah, they do God of War, and they're working on a title. They had two titles. One was cancelled, and you have that game company that did Flower and Journey. You have Sony Band, which we don't know what they're working on.
But they
Studio
didn't
Japan
give
has
much
done
last year.
Puppeteer and other games. They're a really good studio. And
It sounds like a kind of because I mean like the Flower and I can't remember the other one you said, but yeah, they're all kind of weird concept games. They're not like your standard FPS or some shit like that.
No, they're awesome games. Like they're not they're exclusive good games. So yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot
Something
of
different.
yeah, something different. But my prediction of what we're gonna see this year is Mass Effect 4.
I don't think that's going to be the case. We might hear like an announcement to Mass Effect 4. We might see like a small tech demo of it, but
Yeah, but that's my point. We're gonna see something from it.
it'll be very little because EA, they've been acting like jackasses and they don't learn from their mistakes. Like Nintendo, EA and Nintendo are both like this. They're both arrogant and they don't listen to the fans like Ubisoft does.
I don't think we're gonna see much from Nintendo.
I don't think so either.
Except
Because
for Fox, the new Fox game. But otherwise, I don't think they have much, except for the 3DS. But,
Can we see a new F-Zero, please, Nintendo?
Yeah, good luck with that, mate.
Am I the only one who's jaded by E3? I mean, seriously, basically at this point, I'm looking at the E3, I'm going, let's just get this over with because there's nothing
thinking
gonna
that
blow me
too.
away.
Okay. Wait until when Andradal answers me, then you'll get my answer to whether I'm jaded or not by E3.
Come again?
You'll get you'll get the response to whether or not I'm jaded by E3 when Andradal asks me. That's a spoil. That's a teaser. That's a teaser trailer for my answer. This is
Andrew's all asking.
very
It's a cinematic teaser trailer, no gameplay.
Yeah, Just X, what do you expect of?
well, I expect
That's so
safe
meta.
spaces.
Huh?
I expect safe spaces. And what we're not to see. Well, the last time I ever.
By the way.
Well, this is the thing, because the last time I was ever interested in E3 would have been back in 1998 when I was anticipating Prey and Duke Nukem Forever So, I mean, this is kind of where my cynicism comes in. I mean, for fuck's sake, it's a long time since I gave a shit about E3. A very long time. I'm an old motherfucker. So, here we go.
Blake,
Safe spaces are definitely going to be a thing. Don't worry about that.
Safe Spaces is a really nice game title, by the way. Even if it's
Blake,
a
That
horrible
should be
thing.
like a puzzle game.
Blake,
Trying
do
to
you
find a
have any-
safe space. Yeah.
My predictions: E3 is going to be please understand. You see that trash bin in Fallout? You can climb it. Weeb game number 75, released for the PlayStation Vita. Nobody buys it. And the latest Assassin's Creed number 15 for the third year in a row, HD remaster. That's it.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
All right.
You know what? One more prediction I'm going to give is Call of Duty again.
TV, Call of Duty, TV, Call of Duty, sports.
Murray, do you have anything you think we're gonna see? Or not gonna see?
I would love to see another Mario adventure game, but that's not gonna happen. So no.
And what do you think we're not gonna see?
You know, the franchises everyone loves being recreated or made into a new game. You know, things everyone wants Nintendo to make. Things
Banjo
everyone
or
wants.
something like that. Banjo. Games like that. Banjo, Mario, or
Yeah, I mean,
F-Zero.
You look at Nintendo. You look at not Sega. I was gonna say Sega. You look at Capcom. You look at Konami. What are they doing? They're laying down everything. They're basically just dropping everything and say, okay, here's something, I guess, and go whore yourselves out. And I'm so jaded by all this because when you look at E3, you go like, yeah, back in the day, this was the shit. You were like. It was all the rage. You were always hyped for it, but now you're just like, let's just get this over with. I mean,
Welcome to my world. And like I say, I was there about 20 years earlier. So.
Back in 2004 when Shigeru came out with the shield and sword. 'Cause that was 2004, right?
Around
And
that time.
That was another time. It was another.
I mean,
time
I guess that's a bit of a diverging topic, but I mean, I guess there was a time when E3 felt more like it was a sort of thing you could reliably say, like you could get excited and say, well, look at the new technology and all this stuff, and it does feel like as time's gone on, it's very industry focused, and it's kind of like, is there anything really for the plebs like us to really get out of it? I suppose.
I mean, even though I'm really hating on Battlefront, but just seeing the teaser last year just made me cheer out because I never thought that would even happen.
Yeah. I would love to see. I mean, one of the things I wish I could see that DICE will never say is, "We're sorry," like that. They won't say it.
Well, and yeah, just look back at E3 2014 where Sony smacked the fuck out of Microsoft. That was so funny.
Yeah,
that was
Those
funny.
2000
Actually, that was more of a Schadenfreude more than anything. I mean, it was not like, oh man, they're gonna make some awesome games. It was more like, yeah, look at those idiots kicking the shit out of each other because they deserve it. Kick his ass, make him suffer because he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's the thing with E3. I mean, you got to remember there are other people apart from, like, I guess you'd call the big three of Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. There's other people there. It's a fucking big expo with all these other tech companies.
Yeah, I think going off of what you said, I think Valve is probably going to make an appearance. What I think is going to happen is the crowd's just going to be there. Gabe Newell's just going to stand on the center of the stage. He's just going to twiddle his thumbs.
I gotta tell you where dream I had once. It was.
Well, let me finish.
Okay.
Yeah, you can talk about your sex dream with Gabe Newell later.
Yeah. Okay.
And so he's just twiddling his thumbs, and he walks off the stage, but before he's completely gone, he whispers 3, and everybody starts going nuts. And then he pokes his head out and says, "Seconds to live." The floor caves in, and everybody's thrown into a giant wonder. Gabe is just in the back laughing his face off with Shigeru, And
There's one person with an iPhone saying the internet never forgets as he tweets it out.
I'm gonna cut you, bitch. Anyway, so I had a dream once, and this is real. I had a dream once when there was E3. Gabe Newell was coming up on the scene, and for some reason, all the screens in the background lit up, and there's a bunch of twos everywhere. And Gabe Newell is like shrugging, he's like as if to say sorry, and just walks off stage. That's a dream I had.
I feel like there's definitely movie material to be made out of this.
And I was like, yeah, this is so applicable to real life.
At E3.
We'll get Paul Thomas Anderson to do it. I think he can pull that off.
Yeah, well, let's move on to the next topic, which is the Batman. Could you show it off?
Oh, yes, of course. Let me get that shit up. There we go, blah, blah, blah. There's Batman, here we go. Here's the Batman. Right, so let me present that shit to your... They do. Presenting. Okay, you ready for this, you little fucks? Here we go.
Evil can't stand.
I hope you're mature. Be mature.
Scarecrow said he had a plan. That together we could take you out. And Gotham would be ours.
Over my dead body.
Kevin Conroy.
That was the idea.
In this game, Scarecrow comes to destroy Batman, basically. Every aspect of Batman
Kevin
is
Conroy.
challenged. Every aspect
My
of his
God.
identity is challenged.
Alfred, analyze the militia forces, troop deployments, equipment movements. I want to know exactly what I'm up against.
This part of the trilogy is a much more psychological challenge for Batman. He's being ripped apart, and he's fighting for his identity. For me as an actor, it was a blast to get to flex those muscles.
Where's Scarecrow? Go to hell! Where is he? Talk! Or I'll crush every bone in your body.
The only people left on the streets are the sort that enjoy the chaos. Scum. Criminals. And worse.
Commissioner Gordon is both a father, a friend, and obviously someone who is trying to save his city.
It took just 24 hours for us to lose control of the city. Tonight, Gotham's relying on one man to save us all.
Gordon has monumental respect for the Bat. They're tight, they're friends, and they're dedicated and loyal to each other.
Do you really think Scarecrow's crazy enough to detonate a chemical weapon in Gotham?
I won't let that happen, Jim.
Gotham, this is your only warning. And one more time, because I left a word out.
The man's a psychopath, seriously, but he's also brilliant. He's actually quite a reasonable man in the way he talks, but he's obviously very disturbed.
This demonstration used just 5 ounces of my latest toxin. Tomorrow will seem like child's play.
It's been an interesting character to approach because I don't sort of get to use one of the monster voices that you sometimes get to use in games. So we've got to sort of get that incredible eeriness of the voice without overdoing it.
All that remains is for you to watch as I drag your beloved Gotham into oblivion.
In this particular game, he draws together all the other villains that we've met over the last 75 years and brings them into one place to finally try and bring Batman down. His one desire is not to kill Batman, but to humiliate him, to reduce him to ashes.
In death, he has nothing left to fear. Your vengeance will come.
What Scarecrow works out is that if he can make Batman feel fear, then he will have won the day, because then he will expose him to the world as a fraud.
Oracle, I need the location of Unit 247.
Already working on it. This is not the first game that Barbara Gordon has been in. You've heard her voice in the past, but this is actually the first game where you get to see her. I also get to play Oracle, and it's when Barbara's in a wheelchair, and you get to see just more of her kind of intellect come out and see how she's able to kind of guide Batman behind the scenes.
Oracle, check the chemical analysis I've just uploaded.
It's gonna take a little while longer. Drop by the clock tower when you're ready, and I'll show you what I've got so far. How's my dad doing?
He's holding up.
Somehow he always does. The relationship between Barbara Gordon and Commissioner Gordon, it's a loving relationship, but it's secretive. I hate lying to him. He'd kill me if he knew I was still in the city. She kind of withholds a bit of information because he would never want his daughter involved with what Batman's doing because it's so dangerous. So, I think she keeps her secrets from him to protect him from worrying about her.
Sorry, I've got to go. Stay safe, Barbara.
The biggest surprise about the game is that this is the first time that you actually get to drive the Batmobile. In all the other games, they get to be the Bat, but in this one, you actually get to drive this vehicle, and that's something that they haven't done before, so I think they'll have a lot of fun with that.
Oracle, I need to track that military vehicle.
A squad car has picked up the pursuit. I'm relaying its location now.
The Batmobile is such an awesome car. It's the most beautiful I've seen it.
Golf Oscar 5-6, this is Commissioner Gordon. I'm calling off the pursuit. It's too dangerous.
You're in it. You're in the Batmobile, you're in the chases. It's great.
Perhaps the main reason I wanted to play Scarecrow was because I hope he might get to drive the Batmobile. And no one does that. Wouldn't that be so cool to say, I was the character that drove the Batmobile? I'm not saying it's happening, but that would be a great thing to do.
We're trying to make this absolutely great. Just seeing the landscape of Gotham, seeing what some of these characters are, I went, dude, look at that. I mean, it's impressive.
Visually, it's astonishing. It's always exciting to be at the cutting edge of things. And I just feel like this game is really at the cutting edge.
It's astounding. It's a beautiful, beautiful world that they created. It's just very, very complex, and I did not expect that.
Yeah, what do we think?
Yeah, I just want to say...
Kevin Conroy.
I want to say I seldom get blown away by video games nowadays, but the first time I saw the Scarecrow levels in Arkham,
he's got a fucked up face
Asylum, that blew me away, quite frankly. When Batman gets the gas and what do you call it? He gets thrown into his realm or something, into Scarecrow's realm, and he's like having to watch out for his stare because then he's gonna turn maniacal or something. But that really blew me away.
Stop presenting me, Angel. You always forget this. Stop it. As much as everyone wants to see my face.
But you have such a lovely face.
I know. Look, I mean, I feel like there should be a trigger warning every time my face leaves the screen. There we go.
I'm having PTSD.
Well, when I watched it, I didn't know they had this caliber of actors behind this game. So,
yeah, fucking hell. There's some really. I mean, obviously, Kevin Conroy. Again, I've said it many times. He is, for me, he is Batman as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I mean, goddamn, they got some good actors.
Is my favorite Marvel character.
Huh?
No, I'm talking to my brother. I'm sorry. What? Well, okay, Thomas the Tank Engine is my favorite X-Men character.
I'm just gonna mute it.
Did he say Thomas the Tank Engine is my favorite character? Did he just say that? Okay, I want to see the universe of Thomas the Tank Engine. Here's
he was in
Tank Engine.
Well, if you put him in our games, put him in Skyrim. We put him in Skyrim, so he's a dragon in Skyrim. So
Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah,
he's a train. You can't be an X-Man if you're a train. For fuck's sake, no.
Oh, also E3, Michael's gonna be there too.
Yes.
Oh, did he manage it? I didn't think he was going to make it.
Yeah, we managed to get enough.
Yay!
Hey.
Yeah, you guys climbed up. You guys climbed up. Do Block 20 finally climbed up a little bit from their main.
Just like, see, you had to do the same thing that Christian Bale had to do in the Dark Knight Returns. What the fuck was that? The Rises. Sorry.
Yeah.
You had to climb out that fucking little hole, then somehow, I don't know, you just ended up back in Gotham somehow. Nobody knows how. You just did.
Yeah, I remember when they recently announced the Arkham Knight game. I was like, okay, so the map is larger than it was in Arkham City, and I'm like, well, duh, you're driving a car. How else would you manage to make it that? I mean,
Yeah, and
I imagine it's not going to be Grand Theft Auto 5 style
Yeah.
much, though.
not even
no,
close.
because the Scarecrow goes after the entire city, and they have to evacuate everyone in the beginning of the game because he's going after everyone.
One thing I did like with, but this was back in this. I think this was back when I watched E3 last year when they first. I think they introduced Batman back then, or was it even before that?
Yeah, that may be the case. Yeah.
The first time I got introduced to Batman Arkham Knight, I was really blown away by the draw distance of the city and the detail of how far you could see. That was probably the furthest I could seen the draw distance being used in a game before. I don't think it's been better than that anytime. Sorry, English crap.
Well, I think it's gonna be a good game even with crappy $40 season pass. So that's why I pre-ordered it.
Yes, fuck you.
And I'm.
I will not pre-order it, but I will certainly consider buying it when it's out.
Well, as long as the PC Master Race gets the best cut.
Of course you will.
It
I mean,
always gets,
what was it? Was it Arkham Asylum got the best version on PlayStation 3, I think, because they had some exclusive Joker content. You could play as the Joker on the bonus levels or something.
Okay. Well, if they have the Joker and they have Mark Hamill doing that shit, then I can live with that.
Well, but that's just on a side note. But yeah, it might be good. I'm glad that Rocksteady is doing this well. It might be living up to the hype, I hope.
We all live in hope.
Well, I'm gonna tell you after I finish the game if it was worth the money. So.
Fine, I'll leave my buying decision in your hands.
Yeah, I just think it's impressive the cast they have, and they showed it in the trailer. So yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a good game. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next topic, which is based on the first thing. I didn't actually post a news story about this because I didn't know if it was true or not. But now Rockstar has come out and addressed the whole thing with banning single-player mods. And they've not done that. It's probably just a bug where they banned a player.
No, what happened was the mods weren't working again. They said this happens whenever it's unintended consequences of when we do an update. The mods don't work, so you guys have to. So basically.
Yeah, I can read the quotes or the questions here. I'm having so much fun with GTA 5 on the PC, but I just have one question about it. How come you're not allowing mods for it? And the second question: will I get banned from GTA Online for using a FOV mod or Oculus Rift mode? They answer with, we have always appreciated the creative efforts of the PC modding community, and we still fondly remember the awesome zombie invasion mod and the original GTA map mod for GTA 4 PC, among many other classics, to be clear. The modding policy in our license has not changed and is the same as for GTA 4. The recent updates to GTA 5 PC had an unintended effect of making unplayable certain single-player modifications. This was not intentional. No one has been banned for using single-player modifications, and you should not worry about being banned or being relegated to the cheater pool just for using single-player PC mods. Our primary focus is on protecting GTA Online against modifications that could give players an unfair advantage, disrupt gameplay, or cause griefing. It also bears mentioning that because game mods are by definition unauthorized, they may be broken by technical updates, cause instability, or affect your game in other unforeseen ways.
Seems all perfectly reasonable to me.
So someone clarify this to me. I may be an idiot for doing this, but I watch Review Tech USA on occasion, and he said something about Rockstar coming out and saying that modding was prohibited even for single player.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
That was the original. That was the original one. Then he made another video saying, "Guess it wasn't that way." Everybody thought it was originally, even
Yeah,
Rich.
because everyone jumps the gun. That's why I didn't write the original piece on that Rockstar was banning stuff, because going after someone without knowing all the facts is fucking stupid.
I believe they said
Everyone
something
did.
about them changing the end user license agreement.
No, they didn't. That's
They didn't do
total and
anything.
utter bullshit.
Yeah, it's
That's
bullshit.
complete bullshit. And everybody jumped on that because they wanted to get views and shit like that.
Of course.
And that's why I didn't write a story about that, because it's fucking stupid to jump the gun on things without having any facts.
Well, on a slightly different tangential subject, the most impressive GTA mod I ever played was the guys who made Vice City into multiplayer, which I think was a pretty. I mean, for a game that had no multiplayer capacity whatsoever, it's a pretty fucking amazing achievement.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Just Cause 2 multiplayer. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest issue I have is with all the sites and people on YouTube just being complete fucking idiots and jumping the gun on this shit.
Well, you know what it is. People love. I mean, it's kind of. I mean, it's kind of clickbaity, but people love to be outraged.
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying, right? People love a bit of outrage. You get
Drama,
a bit of righteous,
drama.
righteous indignation. I shall strike down upon thee with great anger and furious great vengeance and furious anger. All those who oppose my single-player mods.
Well, it's basically just drama, and people eat that shit up.
Yeah, I was like, this couldn't be true. This couldn't be happening. Like, why would they do this?
Well, I said that in the other stream, which is like, even if people did that, I mean, you couldn't stop people from playing single player mods. Yeah, I mean, what they're saying is like, yeah, of course you can ban people from their servers, like an IP ban or whatever. Of course, if you're determined to use proxies or some shit like that, you could always get around it. There's always possibilities for being an arsehole if you really want to, but there's no way you could stop people from modifying their local copy or something and do what the fuck they want with it. Really, it's always technically possible.
Yeah, true. Any final
Hello,
thoughts?
my name is Gaben. When I lay my Steam sales upon thee.
Well, yeah, I think we pretty much said it. And the last topic, which is maybe, hopefully, KOTOR 3 in the works, because one of the writers of Dragon Age Inquisition wants to make a Star Wars RPG. Hinting, perhaps, at KOTOR 3?
I want to see Star Wars 1313.
Yeah, they're not going to do it.
Well, Visceral is working on a third-person action adventure game, so you never know. Yeah, it may be 1313, but in a different type of setting.
It looked like a good game.
I would have loved to see a game that doesn't focus on Jedi all the time.
You know what? Just to let you know, there was a game. It was called The Republic Commando.
I played that. That game was awesome. Just saying.
I mean, I really hope we get to see KOTOR 3. Even though I'm actually right at this instance, I'm playing Star Wars: The Old Republic. It would be nice to have a standalone game which is not a grindy MMO.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I mean, I'm not a fan of MMOs in general, so God, I'm trying to think. The last Star Wars game I probably played would have been, oh God, what is it? I can't even remember. Fuck it. It probably would have been. It's not. No, I was thinking TIE Wing, which is like in the 90s, but I'm sure I played something more recent than that.
Battlefront.
No, well, no, I've never played X-Men TIE Fighter, but I'm sure I played something slightly more modern than that. I mean, this is going back to the 90s and shit, but
Star Wars Galaxy?
No, is this the thing? No, I'm definitely biased towards single player. Actually, it's probably Soul Calibur 5, where you get Star Wars fucking players in the game, and that's probably
How about
the most
Star Wars
recent
Rogue Leader Squadron 2?
No, I haven't played. Basically, haven't seen it. Mostly, I haven't had a console war during that time. Most of these have been. I think they've been console exclusive. I don't know. They might have come out on PC, but I don't know. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. For a long time, I haven't had consoles at all, so I can't say.
Jedi Academy?
Yeah, I don't have the time to invest in an MMO. It's interesting, as I suspect it probably is. I've read about, like, I remember reading about the original Knights of the Old Republic and stuff. And I saw Underdark, you'll have a lot of fun with that. And but yeah, I don't have much to say on this shit. It's like, it's all the same difference to me, really.
I mean, I hope to see Star Wars RPG from Bioware. I would really look forward to that. That would be awesome, I think.
Basically, I'm just glad to see the Star Wars fever is back on. It's been a quiet while since we've seen Star Wars getting this much attention.
After Star Wars Connect, I mean, anything is better than that.
That was crap. Oh man.
God, that was the one
Han Solo.
Was that the one we had to pretend to basically hold a lightsaber?
Can we kill him?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, you could you pretended to hold a lightsaber, yeah, and the biggest mode was the dancing part in the fucking game.
What? You had to dance.
Yeah, it's basically Dance Central with a little bit of lightsaber.
Okay.
If you don't know, consider yourself blissfully ignorant.
Well, no, I don't have an Xbox. I've never. My sister's got an Xbox with Kinect, but she mostly plays fucking Halo.
Yeah, but do you have no dignity? Then this game's for you.
Well, I have no dignity.
If you have no love for the Star Wars franchise, that game is for you.
If you have no heart, this game is for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that's the thing. I'm still waiting for the original trilogy to come out in a format. I mean, I wish my dad hadn't thrown away all my old VHSs, and I wish it's a VHS player, because then I could get the old ones, which are taped off, illegally pirated off video shop rentals, which are the original trilogy.
Incoming DMCA.
I do remember some article, but this must be a rumor or something. They were mentioning how Disney were planning on releasing a Star Wars in its original form on Blu-ray.
Please, Disney. I mean, please, Disney, do what every fucking old motherfucker like me wants, and just do it, for fuck's sake. It's not that difficult. We got Blu-rays and shit. You can release every version of the fucking film on the same disc, for fuck's sake.
True.
There's no reason not to have it. You can have the original theatrical with it doesn't.
I bought
the re-release of Episode 4. You can have the 1997 update. You can have the whatever one they did after that. I think they did another update after that as well. You can have all the different versions and all the discs, and then everyone's happy.
Has anybody ever seen the Star Wars Christmas special? Because I have, and oh my god, it's bad.
I've only seen people
20 minutes.
I haven't seen the original thing, but I've seen plenty of videos where people are talking about it, and from what I can gather, is the animated section is pretty much the best thing out of it, and everything else is pretty much.
I like the credits, that's the best part.
You shouldn't even watch it, ironically, because it's not even fun to watch for shits and giggles.
I went in thinking
I just think it's amazing it exists at all, given that some motherfucker had to get it off some early. I mean, God, where was it? This would have been like what 79 or something. This was released. The fact that there's any recordings of this fucking shit at all is a minor miracle.
I was going in thinking, it's probably not as bad as people say, and unfortunately, I was proven wrong.
That's yeah.
Okay, well that's what we need a game on. Star Wars: The Holiday Special. Fight the Life Day.
Star with Connect. Star whip. Star whip. Star whip. Whip. Star.
The game is based around basically you have to get Chewbacca back to wherever the fucking Wookiees live. I don't know.
For Life Day, I think it was.
For Life Day, yes, and you have to avoid the Empire.
Intercourse.
Yeah. So that what's his name? Fucking Lumpy can watch porn of a human woman, because that's apparently what Wookiees are into. They're basically reverse furries.
Yep.
Oh god.
This is
reverse furries is a thing in the late 70s. I mean, you've got
Hey,
nothing.
you want to
on
get
that
your mind
fucking
blown? Look back at 1969 when Monty Python made the Flying Circus. They were
well,
talking
I've
about
got that.
furries in '69.
I'll have to check because I've got that DVD. I've got that fucking DVD. That's the television series rather than anything else.
Yeah, Monty Python's Flying Circus.
I'm trying to think what you're referring to because I've seen them all.
It's they John Cleese is dressed up like a mouse in some kind of.
Who the hell is Monty Python?
Get the fuck out!
You're not welcome here.
Oh man, you just crossed something that you shouldn't have.
Yeah. Anyway, John Cleese is dressed like a rat, and he is attending some kind of I don't know, club meeting where everyone is dressed like a mouse, more or rather.
Is it like a snake? Or
they're like eating cheese and stuff, and it's all like, you know, you could basically just replace that with a furry meeting or something.
I must
Basically
point
the
out,
same thing.
of course, for anybody who's interested of scientific accuracy, this is the fun factual moment, which is mice don't actually like cheese that much. If you try to catch a mouse, don't put cheese on your mouse trap. Put peanut butter. They
Yeah, peanut butter is. Yeah, we get a lot of mice up here. Peanut butter works the best.
There you go. Now, if
I'll
you've
keep
watched
that
it
in
on
mind.
the stream, then you've been properly educated on your mouse catching techniques. So there you go. It was not completely worthless.
I'm Batman suggested Wookiee VR porn.
Don't, please, I beg you.
Oh, well, this is the thing. It kind of reminds me. Did anyone see THX 1138?
No.
Well, because that was before Star Wars. I think it was after American Graffiti. This is, I think it might have been George Lucas's first sci-fi movie. It was kind of a weird thing. It's kind of a more art house sort of thing, but it kind of futuristic thing. But there was a scene in THX 1138, which, I mean, if you know, well, THX, everyone should know that's the sound system. And you will see it in various LucasArts things. It comes as a reference, and if you've ever seen, yes, yes, indeed. Anybody watching, your stereo system is now properly configured for THX sound, which the stream does support. But yeah, I mean that's basically where that whole thing comes from, because that was basically George Lucas like. But there is a scene in this. There is basically virtual porn in that scene with tits and everything. So there you go. I do remember I've seen that once, and I haven't seen it ever again. I might have to get that on DVD or something actually. Watch it again. I was probably a bit too. I mean, I might have been like a good 15 years ago or so. So I was probably not old enough at the time to completely understand its complete significance. And now with my significant advancement in pop culture knowledge, I'm sure I can get even more out of it.
Yeah. Do we wanna?
Well, while we're on the subject of sci-fi movies, I recently saw that 2001: A Space Odyssey, but then I learned that it wasn't made in 2001, so I was kind of confused at first.
You fucking no, just leave. Just fucking leave.
Well, I think we pretty much touched all topics. Do we wanna shill our stuff, Murray?
I got a YouTube channel, but I don't have anything on it. I have 2 videos of Bloodborne, how to defeat 2 bosses.
Look, for anybody who needs to defeat those bosses, this could be vital information. You do understand this?
Go and watch.
Community service.
I have 2 guides on how to defeat a pair of bosses in Bloodborne. Go watch.
I mean, I don't give a fuck, but somebody might.
Also, I'm on Twitter at Murray SWE, as in Sweden, because I hate myself.
Leon, you're at Leon Gun underscore.
Leon Gunstill, Leon underscore Gunstill at twitter.com. I also have a YouTube channel, Leon Gunstill. Basically, as you see my my profile image, that's basically what you'll just find. I'm the only one on Twitter.
He has no interest in guns whatsoever. It's just.
I am.
And Deus Ex, you're
yes. Well, it's just I'm just gonna show my face for people. Well, at this point,
you're at XC.
Andrew was gonna show your face.
I am. So I don't even need a show. You just do it for me.
Yeah, you're
beautiful.
XZ Hyrax with an X.
But I mean, if you are following me, if anyone watching this is following me, I suggest you unfollow me immediately because what are you doing with your life? What are you doing? Stop it! Stop listening to me. I'm clearly insane. Just stop it.
And Blake.
Huh?
What? Do you have something to share?
Nah.
Very straightforward, honest. I'm not capitalist. I'm sorry. Are you a Marxist? Is that what we've got? I got a Marxist in our midst.
Why contain it?
What a shame.
Alright, and you can find me at _last_right1. And please subscribe for those who watch it who haven't done it already. So yeah.
Don't be a prick. Fucking subscribe.
Also, I'm not really a Nazi. Just so clarifications there, but I know you're watching this, and I know you can't contain your autism, but I am not a Nazi. Sieg Heil. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Alright, yeah, thanks everybody for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye.
Sieg Heil.